Alright.
We up?
Yeah.
What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for your patience. Sorry, we were a little late coming back from lunch because we were just having a really good time, and we thought, you know what? Let's just keep drinking.
Is it just me, or does it look gray instead of black?
The font?
The font.
It looks gray, yeah. It's a little washed out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely gray.
I like it that big, though.
Yeah.
Too big. Too big.
Too big. Too big.
Less big?
One less big.
One less big.
Yes. Yes.
Can we go
Mr.
one?
Yasmin says, Tim, is this the GOG where you'll talk about TanaCon? No. Once again, we have shit to talk about.
Oh, I do want to talk to you about TanaCon, though, because I like when you go, Nick, have you heard about TanaCon? And I go, no. And you go, well, let me tell you about TanaCon. TanaCon is such a fascinating thing.
Yeah, it is.
Fascinating thing.
But Shane Dawson, man, go watch his video if you need it.
Are they good? Isn't it like 4 parts? TLDR? Like, come on. Shane Dawson, give me the 5-minute version.
Each part's like 40 minutes, so it is a lot of content.
It's like a one-day thing. Does there need to be like
Because what he did the kind of like, here's the breakdown of what happened. Here's the interviews with the guy that threw the event. Here's the interviews with her. And now let's combine, like, let's have them confront each other. Like, it was pretty.
Was it good?
He did some journalism. No. It
See, that's my thing.
It was fine. Honestly, it was. I was entertained as fuck, but it's like, is The Bachelor good?
No.
No. Is it well produced?
No.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. That's all that it is.
No, that's my thing is all the reality TV shows I watch, I'm like, this is so bad. But like even from a production standpoint, but it's also because I produce content. And so I know like what's fake and what's totally edited to make people look stupid and what's totally ADR and like what's totally all make-believe bullshit. Do me a favor, reach up and judge that thing out of your way. There you go. Let's get a little more light on your face. But I still love them. You know why? Like, do I think Snickers bars are fucking good for me? No. Do I think the 2 cookies I ate from Subway were good for me? No. You know what it is? When I go to comedy clubs, I want cookies now. They didn't have a fucking cookie at the comedy. I asked her. You heard me ask her.
Weird. Is it Pavlovian?
Pavlovian, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pavlovian conditioning and stuff?
Yeah.
Classical conditioning.
You associate going to stand-up shows with eating cookies.
Well, just because of the comedy store.
Oh, they give you cookies at the end. That's right.
They don't give you cookies in the end.
Well, at a couple shows they do. Back at Brainwash, they used to. Remember? He'd walk around with his cookies.
Right, dude.
It started that way.
You are conditioned for these cookies.
No, I'm telling you, the reason I'm conditioned is because when I go to the comedy store, I get a little drunk, and they have like the fresh baked cookies there. Fresh baked. They're like,
Yeah.
They've been baked like early that morning. And it's my earliest memories of going there was me getting a little drunk and then ordering some
Well, but
cookies,
that's also Brainwash, though.
No, the cookies and comedy thing was Oreo cookies. I don't crave those.
It wasn't always Oreo cookies.
Well, it's like the cookies like you Chips Ahoy style.
But I've only went there twice.
Oreo
Yes,
cookies.
yes, Chips Ahoy style.
It's the store-bought cookies. I like the ones that are more
disgusting and just grease.
Giddy.
The ones that you could just like, this is made of pure butter.
Yeah.
And I can taste it because watch, you do the thing is from The Simpsons.
Have a great day.
Where you just go,
Yeah.
and you can see through the wall.
Lexi got her great. Dressed up as Aaliyah.
Shout out to Lexi.
Lexi gonna says it's Nick's bodyguard. That's right, Lexi.
Lexi was nice enough to say hi to me yesterday. I knew I need to get up on it. Is that what you always say?
Yeah. We'll adjust.
We're gonna actually
Spacetime Dave joining the chat. Says hello, everyone. What's
I
up,
can push you
Spacetime
in.
Dave? Good to see you.
Spacetime.
So you got to be nice and close to the
It's
stuff.
not,
but
it's not a
that.
chat
Perfect.
unless Charles
We'll
Jacobson
bring it up a
is in
little
here.
higher.
I want
It's
everyone
true.
to know that. He's my brother from
Excellent.
Copenhagen.
That's good.
Sugar-free daddy says, I have carbs sometimes. Sometimes you got to do it.
You know where Spacetime Dave is from?
Space.
Minnesota.
If I remember correctly, San Jose.
San Jose?
San Jose.
I love when people say it like that. San Jose?
San Jose. I have this friend,
It's right there.
Josie.
It's San
who
Jose.
goes way too hard on all of that.
I love that,
Sarah
though.
Monte. I'm like, stop, dude.
I say Sarah Monte.
Ceremony, just, yeah.
I say Sarah
Sarah
Monte.
Monte.
And it's like she
guy.
had our friend in high school, Maria. She would call Maria.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like, she's Russian. It's Maria.
Yeah.
Well, I have my cousin that's the other way on that, where her name is Angelica, as far as I can
Angelica?
read. But it's like you have to say it Angelica. She gets
Angelica.
mad.
That I understand.
But
If it's someone's
she's-
name and that's
She's
how
very,
you
very
pronounce it.
blonde.
She
doesn't
is
look it.
exceedingly blonde.
I totally get that, though. If you want your
There was
name
this
said
cat I
differently, I
backpacked
get
across
it.
the UK with named Angel, but he was Angel the entire time.
Angel, yeah.
You backpacked to the cat,
And a girl.
Cat
We
pack.
went up to Scotland. Yeah.
but like
He meant
I
cat as
met-
a
did-
dude. He meant like
I met
a
him-
Did he?
slang term for a
No,
friend.
a dude, a fellow.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
A gentleman.
I thought you were like, here's a leash. We're taking a little cat with us.
Well,
I thought
what's
the cat
wrong
was
with
in the
that?
back.
There's nothing wrong with that. I was just
it's-
shocked because people don't
it's
do
a Savannah
it.
cat, and he's very well trained.
Okay. I'm confused whether it's a cat or a person now.
God bless you, Charles.
It's a person named Untitled.
Charles says, hello, Nick.
Untitled.
Don't worry. I'm awake, even though it's 00:21 a.m.
Oh my God, that's nearly midnight.
Mr. Andy
after
GR
midnight.
says
That's a little after
Minnesota is
But-
the best
well,
state.
All right, well,
It's true. No, you're
it's
true.
still
You're
near
right.
midnight.
Again, and Tim is to my
That's an
immediate
opinion.
left.
That's
how it
different,
goes.
though.
It's not. It's the same thing.
Yeah, weird
Go
opinion.
circumvent the earth, it will get there eventually.
Yeah.
Gia's mom's from Minnesota.
I mean, does he have the accent? Does she
Where's
have the accent?
Andrea from
She's
again? Because
not.
I always say
Damn it.
Minnesota, but it's not Minnesota, right? Where's she from?
Earlier,
Dakota,
Greg
right?
said North Carolina.
Dakota?
North
Dakota.
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Yeah.
She's from one of the
Very
similar.
Dakotas.
Dakota.
Dakotas.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm still reeling from my failure with the geography test. I'm still thinking about that.
yeah?
I'm like, wow, what a fucking
I'm
piece of
so
shit
happy
I
I
am.
wasn't here
Me
for that
and Cool
episode.
Greg did
Gun
it
to head, If
afterwards.
you pointed to me and say, "Where's Iowa on the map?"
Oh, fuck you, Iowa.
Dude, but
Sorry, I love you, but I don't know where the hell you
No,
are.
what part of it? I still don't
Iowa,
know.
It's the guy's
Idaho.
name, Minoa or whatever his name is.
If
the
you
little
try to tell me to
elf.
spell restaurant or you kill my family, they're dead. if you try to put Iowa or Indiana,
Restaurant took me.
Okay.
Restaurant took me a lot.
Restaurant? I
Yeah,
can't spell
rest.
it.
There's a couple.
R.
There's restaurant. There's probability. I can never get that right.
Spell definitely.
Differently. Or definitely. That's what
Definitely.
it is. Definitely I can never
Define
do.
Yeah.
Italy.
Yep.
I use the squiggle, and I look for the squiggle, and I look for
Yeah.
that.
The Squiggle is
Charles Jacobson,
fucking-
great question.
good.
Since Johnny Ace finally is president, does that make Tim VP? We have not.
We haven't figured it
We
out
haven't
yet.
figured out
Because we
the
did.
Is there an alliance
Tell you what,
between
though,
Johnny
Tim.
Ace and
Well,
Tim?
between Nick Scarpino and Tim Gettys, we did run for
The thing is-
co-presidents.
Yeah, but
did.
the election was never called out.
The thing is, I feel like
But it never ended.
I feel like Tim Gettys, maybe not.
Wow,
but
we look
Tim
that angry
Baby
in real
Blue
life.
Eyes Gettys,
Tim Baby Blue
might be
Gettys.
the vice
Sorry.
president.
They're good cameras.
He might be the
Oh.
president. The
I
face.
am one ugly.
That-
motherfucker.
Are you
we-
kidding me?
But we can't be in a
I
stable
didn't know.
together
Thanks.
if
Okay.
we're
Hey, man.
I just found
opposing
The camera
viewpoints.
We
What does
absolutely
best.
can. And here's what we do. Here's what we do. Ready for this?
Yeah.
You become vice president. I'm the champ. You and I hire a wedding photographer to take those cheesy ass pictures that all my friends have, where it's you, me, and the belt on the beach.
Yeah.
You're behind me. We're both holding the belt as I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
We do a whole series of those Patreon goals.
I'm into that.
Patreon.
Hashtag
Well, no,
Patreon
you
goals.
guys. I've never brought this up on air, but like for fan mail, no, I don't want to do it anymore. But I wanted to get what are they called? The stuff that actors have.
Eskimos.
No, the pictures.
Cheez-Its.
They do have that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Headshots.
Headshots.
Yeah.
Of the real champ, the one true champ.
I can do that. whenever you
And I
want.
want to have him sign it and send it out. And we might do that if he ever gets
We
the
should do
title
it for
back.
all of us. We should do all of our wrestling poses, like the not good headshots, the really bad ones that they used to do in like the 80s, where it was just them against
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
background.
talking about.
No depth of field whatsoever.
100%.
Just shitty lighting. They're like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's me with a snake, and I sign it.
And nothing
the
else
snake
on.
Scarpino.
We
No,
still
I'm-
need to
I'm
do the
going
calendar. I really want to do that this year.
Are you gonna do the belts and like pictures of like fruit, like children?
Sure.
You should.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Oh.
Miss Yasmin says, guys, you going to watch the Cats film adaptation now that Taylor Swift is casting it? I did not know there was a Cats movie being made. I am very excited about that. And yes, this excites me even more. I love my girl Tay Tay. I've never seen Cats.
Have you seen Rent?
I've never seen Rent.
Cats is a weird ass show from my
Yeah?
understanding. I've never seen it either. I've heard the music from it and I've seen things of it and I'm like, this is what a fucking weird thing.
Hey Arnold did a parody of it called Rats.
Hayden H
We're
in the
rats.
chat
We're
saying,
rats. We're furry and forlorn.
Wait a second. Cheetos is the
live in sewers,
orangutan,
love the sewers.
and Nick is Cheeto fingers. What does that mean? What does it
deep.
mean?
What does
That's
anything
deep.
mean? Kevin Ace
Yeah.
X says, I feel like Nick has a lot of good ideas that never come true.
No, they're bad
Because
ideas.
people censor me. It's because Kevin won't enable my
Bad
dreams.
ideas.
Kevin's always fighting me.
A lot of people say I have
You
good
have to-
ideas.
You have to be amused. You have to spit the ideas out.
Kevin always says, Nick, you want to put a giant catapult on the roof so we can shoot water balloons at oncoming traffic? That's a
I've
bad
been
idea.
100% fucking in on that from the very beginning.
Well, I don't know why it's not happening then.
Roof of Pult will happen someday.
Thank you.
Roof of palm.
Roof
It's
bolt.
like a catapult
Didn't
that's
he
on
die
the
in
roof. In Hulk?
Now, what are the things called where you do this? Where you, slingshot.
Slingshot.
Rufio,
I want a roof
Rufio.
slingshot.
That's what I. That's what,
Ring shot. No, how do you say? Roof of pulse better.
yeah.
That's better.
Roof of Pult, we nailed it. It can be a slingshot. No one's gonna go up there and be like, "Hey, wait a minute, this doesn't look like a catapult."
Steve Harvey says.
Trebuchet of-
Yeah.
Steve Henry says Cats is the Nickelback of musicals.
He's
I
not
don't know
wrong.
about that. Cats was a classic in the 80s,
But isn't that the thing where like everybody like went to it, but like, was it good though?
Does anyone know?
I
don't
don't know if it was good or not.
Does anyone have a Cats song? Like, is Cats
Memories, I think, comes from Cats. Memories.
Do you know that song, Tim?
No.
Do you know that song?
I think.
Sadly do.
Okay.
But I won't admit it.
Okay.
See, I get Cats and Chorus Line confused. Chorus Line's a good show. But Cats is fucking weird.
That is not the episode.
I've never
that
seen the whole
Arnold
thing,
and Gerald
so-
dressed up as a banana on strawberry. That's the pilot. Not the pilot. That's the first episode.
Jill Keeling asking if I'm going to be on GOG today. I will not.
Oh.
Greg Miller will come and take his spot, and then he's going to take my spot. Isn't that right, Gibby?
Yeah, so they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
I
would he
still
do
don't
that?
know what we're going to do.
What?
He's gonna take your spot.
Wait, what does
gonna
Greg
run-
normally
I'm
say?
gonna run
Digital Lost
never
Boy
mind.
says, I
You wanna
just
run the
smoked
board?
a
I will
post-work
fuck
blunt
that
for
shit
this
up.
episode.
Hard.
I,
It's
Let's
not hard.
get
I
it.
watched you do it.
At this, well, yeah, but
Played
that.
your phone mostly.
No, the morning show was
I
clicking
watched you-
buttons. I was talking to my boy Tom about some computer issues that we're having. Remember this morning?
Uh-huh.
Remember this morning? A lot of back and forth and some Fortnite.
Michael
to be
Van
honest.
House says, I saw Cats about 10 times. Don't remember a single song from it. Maybe you were smoking blunts with fucking Digital Lost Boys up there.
Miss Yasmin says, Tim, you're going to talk about Demi Lovato. She's in the hospital supposedly for heroin overdose. We're not going to talk about it during the show, but like,
We'll probably talk about it on the morning
I'm
show
tripping out
tomorrow.
about it, man. This fucking sucks. I keep looking at updates, and there's not really any updates happening. I hope she's okay.
I really
she
hope
makes
she's okay,
fucking
too.
slaps, man.
I love Demi L. You know,
She had
you know
a
what
new
I-
song that just came out called Solo, and it's really fucking good.
Demi L.
she's one of those
He's
artists
sneezing. He
that
sneezes multiple times.
it's fine. He's fine.
Sorry.
He's fine. No, you think he's dying? He's fine. He'll die one day, but not today.
Sure.
He's
He's made of chicken wings and sneeze.
Nah, he's fine.
All right.
Demi L is one of those artists. You know how I get into things ironically, where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this, just to piss you off, and you're like, Jesus, Nick, you
Yeah,
don't
I
like
mean,
it.
you were the one that got me into Demi L.
I started
This
listening
was
to-
years ago when she put out that Heart Attack song.
Which one was it? I forget.
Something, gonna have a heart attack.
I think I have a
You're
heart
bad
attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Demi L, Demi L. And then my wife was like, Nick, stop saying Demi L first. No one calls her that. And I was like, I call her
The
that.
world calls her Demi
And
L.
then started scrolling through Instagram. She popped up because, of course, I follow these people that do BJJ. She's a blue belt.
She's fucking
And I was
dope
like,
as hell,
dude,
man.
fucking that takes a lot of work.
No, she's
Good
great.
for her.
Blue belt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Scott
They're
Learmouth says
fucking
another
cool as
Disney
shit.
teen star
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
smack.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, they do have a lot of them, right?
No, bring the message back. I don't think that one's worth retracting. I think that was a funny message. Right?
They retracted that?
Yeah, message retracted.
Why?
See,
You
You can
Scott-
retract the message?
I don't know
Oh, he
who
put
did
it back
it.
out. Well, who's retracting?
I don't know.
Cool, Greg, stop retracting things.
My bad.
But also,
Was that you?
Hell no, man.
Cool, Greg. Can you press message retracted and see what that does? Click on it there. Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh man. Dude, what?
Hey,
like,
Scott
do we
Learmonth,
have
how about
mods?
you fucking stop being a wuss, man? Put it out there. Don't let people censor you.
You put it out there, Nick.
Okay, cool. Another Disney star on the smack. I'll tell you what, though. There is a staggering percentage of
You got this.
those teen stars that have a lot of issues.
That's
bad.
bad.
It's because they have access to money and power.
Yeah.
It's true. I guess that's true. Remember Brittany? Man, she went nuts. Remember what's her name? Amanda Bynes. She went nuts.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. What do you think that? Do you think that Alec Baldwin's like freaking out right now because what's her name? His daughter's marrying. Isn't his daughter marrying Justin Bieber?
They announced their engagement, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be freaking out.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Arena
I knew her name was
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
What he called the disgusting little
The
pig?
disgusting little
Oh,
pig.
right. You know what? Like you've never fucking left that message on my answering machine before.
It's because you are my disgusting little
I'll
pig.
fucking
Oh, you
suck your
almost
mouth.
killed-
I
right
want
now,
your
sir.
sausage right now.
just
Shut
do
your
it.
fucking mouth.
I couldn't find lime juice. I'll take some lime juice.
Wait,
Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be refrigerated.
Alec
just
Baldwin.
want lime juice?
If I'm doing,
No,
if I'm
inside
saying
of my
this right.
Corona. He didn't buy
Also,
I think
Coronas.
he had a
It's-
couple
it's
daughters
acidic.
with Kim Basinger, and Irina Baldwin, I think, is one of them. I think that's her name, and she's marrying Justin
No,
Bieber.
no. I mean, it's fine.
And they are gonna make
Yeah, I think it's. Well, bring it in. Let's
the
look at it.
hottest sex video
fine.
you've ever seen.
I said,
Can't
bring it
wait.
in. Let's look at it.
Fuck
Can't
that,
fucking
fappening
wait.
2.0. You know
Yeah.
what I
Wait,
mean?
wait, back
Jesus
up.
Christ, Nick.
They were talking about lime juice. Sex what?
I just hope that one day Justin Bieber and the Baldwin they make a sex video and that I get to see it because they're beautiful human beings.
That's a normal.
Outwardly speaking,
That's a noble
I can't
goal.
speak to their intelligence level or their
God, no.
personalities.
No.
All accounts, everyone says Justin
irony.
Bieber is just a giant piece of shit. But
Sure.
like all of his all the stories about his neighbors hating him.
Yeah.
What an asshole. Like what would
Alec
you
is
do?
her uncle.
Alec was the uncle?
That's what Rudy's saying.
Oh, it's Stephen Baldwin's kid. Okay.
Is it?
Well, who's Alec's kids? Because Alec has a daughter and
Haley.
she's blonde. Haley Baldwin.
Oh, I thought it was Haley Baldwin.
I thought it was Haley Baldwin.
Someone Google that shit. What did I do?
I think I said Irina Baldwin, but I think that was wrong.
Andy tightens it. Andy tightens it.
What's going on with Haley Baldwin?
Like, I didn't know that Haley Baldwin was
Yeah, I can see.
related to the Baldwins.
Who's Haley Baldwin?
Let's see. I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
That's
Who's
nose
Haley
height.
Have you not listened to this conversation, Kevin?
No, I wasn't.
It's like being me. You know what I mean?
Who
It's
was
like
Haley
what it's
Baldwin?
going to be. Haley Road Baldwin. Let's see.
that?
Parents.
Yep. Check.
Partners. She's engaged to Justin Bieber. Her parents are Stephen Baldwin and Kenny. Okay, so it is Stephen Baldwin's kid.
No, you're fine.
There you go. I apologize.
And
That was
Kenny?
All right.
Just relax.
Kenya.
Oh.
I do need one of
Diodato
them to
is
slide
her
in a
mom.
little closer to keep it.
But I think Alex kid with
Is that okay?
with Kim Basinger is.
A disgusting little pig, I heard.
There you go.
All right.
Am I wrong about their kid? It's a disgusting pig.
Now it's too high.
You disgusting fat.
I'm not up to date on
Oh,
anything Baldwin.
Ireland Baldwin is his daughter. Oh, she's a model. Who's she married to?
What was your topic going to be again? I forget.
My topic's gonna be the '80s
Ah,
movies.
right.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Okay.
So what were you gonna say?
Stay
Tim?
nice and tight on that.
None.
Check.
No
I
more than
just
a fist
don't.
away.
I don't know Baldwins.
Yeah, so okay,
No,
that makes sense.
stupid.
So this is his
No more
other.
than
This
one.
is his daughter.
Right.
She looks exactly like Kim Basinger.
Holy shit, does she
Isn't that
look like
wild?
Kim
You
Basinger?
wanna?
And he called her a
Wait, that's-
disgusting little pig.
Well, she was at the time.
Damn, no, I have no retort.
that is-
I have no clever
Fuck
retort.
you if you don't like Alec Baldwin. He said he was sorry.
But then he keeps fucking up and doing other stupid shit. You know what I mean?
What else did he do?
I forget.
He hasn't done shit in a while.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Do you want to be referred to as Gibby?
Gib. I
This
don't
is
know.
whole
Mike,
show. Do you
Mike
want-
Gibson, and then just go with Gibby.
Mike
after that.
Gibson?
Can I ask you a
All right,
question?
I've
How
got
many
an
people have
email
made the
saying
Kimmy Gibbler
you
joke
can call
to
me
you?
Gibby.
Well, no, none. But when I was younger, it was Gibbles and Chips because I was a chubby kid,
Yep, Gibbles
and I
and
got
Chips.
that a lot.
Gibbles and chips.
And then Kibbles and Bits came after that because kids are assholes. And
know what I mean?
then my
Gibbles
aunt
and
bought me-
cream.
and then my aunt bought me a bra.
I was wondering. I was like, did you just go a fucking 112
No,
reference? Yeah, you did.
You look so good to me. Know what I mean? Gibbles and cream.
I love how this is gonna be a good podcast. You know, it's gonna be a good podcast for a couple of reasons. One, y'all didn't see on the post show Greg having the world's biggest Foster ×2, and now we got a Corona here. And when it's a Corona day in Greg Miller's mind, it's vacation.
I'm on the beach.
You're just
A little
relaxing.
bit of
right
that
now, bro.
vacay.
Let's let it go.
Wait,
you know?
wait.
Quick question: whose Robotech stuff is that?
That's
back there?
mine.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
My favorite show as a kid.
Do we
It's
not
the
like
best show ever
Gibby?
made.
Roy Fokker made me cry.
No, we like Gibby. We're singing on first introduction, Mike Gibson.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure we like Gibby.
We love Gibby.
As a person,
I don't understand what
I'm not
goes. Like, Kevin, what happens when you're in this room with us and we're having conversations?
What?
Like when we're talking about stuff.
I'm listening to the audio levels and not
Thank
listening
you.
to the conversation.
Thank you.
But he didn't have that
Shush.
on.
Huh?
though.
Yeah,
what I
I
want you to
did.
know is you
That
get to
was-
sit over here in your privileged spot and just
Yeah.
sit here and talk. He's over there making the levels work. He's making sure it's streaming. He's looking at the chat.
I'll
He's
tell
making
you
sure
right-
the numbers are running.
He's doing all
All I
those
heard
things
is there was
well.
some question about whether
I didn't say
Gibby
it
or
even
not was the
well.
was the right nickname to use. Then I was like listening at his levels because it was too low, Tim. Because it was too low.
Right.
Okay. God, I want to pen you so bad.
You want to peg him?
Pen.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna peg Tim?
Pen.
Tim doesn't like to be
Or
touched, let alone
I was
penetrated.
watching Deadpool last night. The fucking pegging
Fuck, I gotta
scene
watch
is
that
so
tonight.
good.
National
Are we
Women's
doing
Day?
it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it. Can you remind me like at
Are we
9
really
o'clock
doing it
tonight
tomorrow?
to watch Deadpool?
Are we ordering food in?
We're gonna have to.
Deadpool's
We'll
tomorrow.
order
Look
some
at that.
food.
We gotta order it early then.
We can look at the rest
Number
of the
one,
week.
Deadpool. You're done.
Tomorrow's the only time it works, I
He's
think.
100% right.
I know. It's you're gonna like it though. It's you know.
It's a great.
Can I
fucking
stop
song.
watching things and just play video games? That's all I
No,
want
why
to
don't
do.
you just fuck? Oh, boo hoo! My life sucks. I either have to play an awesome game or watch an awesome movie, or fucking maybe be Nick's friend one day and play Fortnite with him at night.
Hard
Stop
to do when I have to
playing
keep
on
watching
PlayStation.
fucking goddamn Deadpool.
Are you playing? You're just playing Fortnite exclusively on Switch.
That is correct.
I hate that. Would you play on PS4 if I invited you to?
No,
Why not?
You
because
can't.
my progress isn't carried over.
Who cares?
If
about
I'm
your
not
progress?
making,
It gets
I
wiped
do.
out every
I
goddamn
do.
act anyway, right?
No,
Every chapter.
I keep my
Every
costumes
chapter.
and all my stuff.
You think about that, Nick?
I want my swimsuit Guardian.
Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it yet?
No, I didn't.
don't you
I didn't
live-
play last night.
don't you
I had to
live-
watch Akira.
Why'd you watch Akira?
Jen wanted to watch Akira.
Don't talk
It's
to
so
him about
good.
it.
Yeah, it's something. All right.
You didn't like it?
No,
Did you watch the dubbed version or sub version?
we watched the dub version. I was like, let's watch it with subtitles. She's like, no, I want you to pay attention to the art. You'll get too caught up in reading. I'm like, that's a good point. And then she's like, wasn't the art amazing? I was like, the art was good. Yeah, I mean,
fine.
Batman animated series looks way better.
It's fact.
That is just.
She's like, well,
inaccurate.
the art's the, you know, I'm like, what do you like about this? She's like, I like the art. Like, what about the story? She's like, story's kind of nonsense. I'm like, exactly.
It's not nonsense.
Why
It's
did
a
I
cool
watch 2
story.
hours of this? These
It's a dope
fucking,
story.
I got goddamn 3 Muppet babies running around the world fucking everything up for everybody. And I got one guy, his head keeps getting bigger, hair keeps getting spikier. Eventually gets Cyborg Superman arm. That's pretty cool.
You think the motorcycle was cool with a laser?
No. I was just like, what are this motorcycle's powers? He's like, I stole one. It's awesome. You should steal one if you want one. I'm like, all right, whatever, fucking dude.
I think we're diametrically opposed on this.
They're all really rude to their girlfriends. I noticed that.
Super rude.
They're asshole punk kids. And that's why they all fucking die. That's the whole point, is that these shithead kids. And he's like, oh my God. Like, at no point does the main character really do anything. He just...
Neo Tokyo. More like PU Tokyo.
Oh, man, that movie's
It
stunning.
doesn't matter. It's gonna blow up anyways.
It's funny. I went back and watched that maybe 5 months ago. Just because I was like, oh, it's on Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna pop it up. And it's so weird to visit that movie again as an adult and seeing it again and seeing it like with the different. I think I watched it with the actual subtitles on. I got so much more out of it this time. I think it's beautiful. I think
Didn't you
it's a
also
masterpiece.
read a bunch of the manga?
I never read the manga actually.
Really? I thought you had
No.
told me that there was a lot more story involved.
There is. I'm familiar with it. I had friends that did read it. I think Akira is only maybe like I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong. It's only a portion of the manga because there's a whole lot more story fleshed
it was
out.
the middle portion.
Something like that,
I remember the first time you told me about
But
it.
it's like it's the portion of the story that I think is the bulk of it. It's so fucking good, and the art style is to this day like I don't think anything's been as far as hand drawn animation. I don't think anything can rival that.
What?
Extreme Ghostbusters.
Have you seen The Lion King?
Dude, go back and watch it again just for the lighting changes. It's
seen it.
stunning. And the effects they do just with hand, it's fucking gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Greg's a
I
monster.
don't know, man.
The problem is, what someone needs to do is
Have
let
you
you
seen
just
Treasure
play.
Planet?
Mid-film, one Kevin Coelho texts me, all caps, fuck sleep, play Fortnite.
It was 10:30?
I responded
it's not
back,
wrong.
still watching Akira. Kevin Coelho, showing wisdom beyond his years, responds, that's one of those movies that everyone says is good and you won't get it. Then sometime later, you realize people are dumb and it's a bad movie. Wisdom
have you seen
beyond his
Akira?
years.
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Are you kidding?
It's a fucking masterpiece.
What the fuck's the story?
The story's amazing. It's that they were doing experiments on kids to unlock power and it went bad.
It
That's
just
my man.
didn't do
That's
anything.
Gibby.
I thought the artwork was beautiful,
Yeah.
but the actual story, like I remember nothing about the story, and I don't care, and I don't really want to go
Now,
back.
to be fair,
They got some
you may
old
have
babies.
watched. The problem is, and this is a problem a lot of people had with Akira, is that when it came to the States,
Right.
it got translated in a very convoluted way. If you went back and watched it again, the story is very straightforward and easy to understand. It's literally just about a scientific experiment with these that the government was doing to unlock this power in these kids, and it went fucking crazy. And Akira blew up the city.
I just like
And
the
then had to
I
come
like
back
that
to take
vision of
it.
that dystopian future vision. I liked
It's
that.
fucking
I mean,
awesome.
it's gorgeous. I mean, like, and a lot of cyberpunk people still draw from that inspiration from that anime. But the story wise,
I think it's stunning. I mean, what's crazy too is you go back. When I watched it, I was a kid, so I always thought when you're a kid, everyone looks older. Even
yeah.
Sure,
You go back and watch it now. The lead character, I think, is only supposed to be like 16 or 17. So
Right.
he's a kid.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with all this shit, and this is the first time he's ever really dealt with a real situation, and he just fucking, it's just horrifying and terrible. And like, yeah, and you're right. All the kids are super abusive because of these fucking asshole punk gangsters.
Orphans,
Who just, they're terrible, and no one's accountable for anything, and this society is just crumbling.
So when I met
That's
this
what it's
this
about.
one clique of nerds in college, they like made me watch Akira and then Vampire Hunter D back to back, and it's like now I liked Vampire Hunter D.
Shout out to Vampire Hunter D,
That
man.
one was still a classic. I stands up even to this day. I like it, and in a weird way, I like the sequel. But Akira, it's like I like that vision, but it was like I want my dystopian to be sad and dark like Blade Runner, not brightly colored.
Well, this one was sad and dark.
No,
It was neon, but
visually,
it was,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just go back and watch it again. I think you might like it now. When's the last time you saw it?
25 years ago. So
Watch it again as an adult, and watch it with the new translation, or maybe with just the subtitles.
Okay.
I think you get a lot more out of it because
no,
the
I'm willing to
story
give
was
everything a chance.
the story when we were kids. The one you watched was
Right.
very convoluted to the point where like years later I was like, I don't even know what happened in Akira. Then I watched it again. I was like, oh, pretty straightforward. Like not that hard.
even if oh god, no, oh, Jesus Christ,
Gibby, did you write a bunch of books?
I wrote 6 books.
Oh my God, Gibby. Are they all in the same universe?
Yeah.
Actually,
Nope.
save it,
At
save
no
it, save
point
it,
was
save
that
it, save
like
it, save it,
that.
save it, save it, save it, save
I
it.
would like to
Let's
pimp.
just maybe stack them,
Okay.
Sure,
since everything is super slick and there you go.
and it's Gary Wood's fault.
Save it. Save everything that's
Yeah,
happening. I
we'll
like what's
save it.
happening.
All right,
Save it.
whenever you guys are ready, we mean.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
I want it to be known I give Greg full consent to touch any part of my body he wants with any part of his
Now, in a similar state of affairs, at Tim Gettys has given us consent to hug him at will.
No
He did.
consent.
Why do you hate hugs
It's like,
so much?
You do not have consent to
Why
touch
do
me.
you hate the hugs?
I just don't like the touching. I don't like people touching me.
Even Gia. That's why Gia put us on this crusade.
She has there's appropriate times and places she can touch me.
So now, now walk me through this for real.
Like when you're in places?
You're telling me that Gia knows she can't hug you, just touch you at will.
It's not that she can't. She just knows that I'm uncomfortable with it.
Is
When
Cool
we're
Greg like
laying
this?
on these couches and
Cool Greg,
she
you like
decides
Cool Greg,
to
you
lay
like,
all
you
over
like
me.
hugs? Come here and get hugged by me and Nick. Come here and get hugged by me and Nick. Get right in the middle.
Come on. Let's touch him. Come on. Look at this. Not so bad.
See?
Not
What's
so
up?
bad.
Gang shit. Gang shit.
There's gang shit
Not
there.
so bad.
Yeah.
And then rounding out our quartet of goons today, the one and only Mike Gibson,
Hey, Minnie.
a.k.a. Gibby.
How you doing?
Gibby.
brother?
Good, Gibby. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
What did you say?
I call him Kimmy Gibbler.
Son of a bitch.
Do you get that a lot too growing up?
Actually, no, I got Gibbles and chips.
Gibbles. I don't understand the chips part.
Because Gibbles Chips is famous out east, and I was a fat kid. So, yeah.
That one went over
Oh, I
our
thought it was
heads.
a-
I know,
Yeah,
it's an
Kibbles
East
and
Coast
Bits.
thing.
Yeah, I thought it was a Kibbles and Bits reference too.
That,
at
well,
first.
then
Why'd they add the ad? Because it wouldn't wouldn't it just be Kibbles?
they're in elementary school kids are not that bright.
Kids are dumb
Great
as
point.
fuck.
They're
Kids
dumb
are
as
Call
really,
me
really
Tim
dumb.
Spaghettis. I'm like, I like spaghetti.
Fuck, he
Fucking
got us.
twisted
He
that
got
shit
us.
on those bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Fuck
You know what would have been great though if you did it. You said that right, and then you unzipped one of your pockets and had spaghetti in it. And you're like, I've been
fucking
waiting.
meatballs.
I've been
Just
waiting for
fucking
this
pull it
day.
out, have that noodle just drop and
Okay,
be like,
that's gross.
That's
made
how
it
you do
gross.
it.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah. But I called them all
Kevin,
cunts.
don't do
like,
it.
that's fucking language like they call me
When's,
food I
when's the
enjoy.
last time you think you ate a Chef Boyardee
Here
can
we
of-
fucking
of
go. The
spaghetti and
topic
meatballs?
number one.
Let's
Remember
see.
this?
2
Of
weeks
course.
ago.
Really?
Beetleborgs.
Really?
I have a 6-year-old son. Chef Boyardee is stationed in our
Man,
house.
dude, there was a time in
And
my
it's
life.
not that good.
It wasn't.
really
It
topic
wasn't
one?
the spaghetti and meatballs. I think the ravioli. I was like, I'm really into the Chef Boyardee ravioli in the can.
Dude, shout
it's
out to
not
that shit.
good.
It's so bad.
It's bad.
Do they only do beef?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
a-
know that deep
raviolis
down
and
the
they have
I'm
rabbit
the
hole.
a
standard
purist, right? I like my ravioli just to be like the ricotta, the cheese in there. You know what I mean? I don't
yeah,
want the
it's
beef
manicotti.
in there. No, that's a
cheese
tube.
stuff,
That's
too.
a tube.
Well,
That's-
it's a different. He's right. It's a different configuration of the manicotti, but yes,
There's ravioli that are
It's
just cheese. Cheese ravioli.
That's cheese ravioli.
Sure.
The best part of having a little kid in your house is you can have like all the shit you had as a kid before, and you get to try it again, and it's not nearly as good. And it's not just because they changed the formula. All the MSG is gone. Hamburger Helper, not nearly as good.
Isn't that why everyone has kids though? So you can
Play
relive
video
your
games
childhood
and relive
through
your
their
childhood.
eyes, and then
And
they
yell at
resent you,
somebody.
and then you
Yes.
realize why you hated your dad.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have a 6-year-old.
My 6-year-old son. Yep.
Kevin is
Kevin's
bringing
got the
up Chef
Chef Boyardee
Boyardee
stuff.
right here. What are we looking at exactly?
All right.
We got beefaroni. We
doing
got the
good.
throwback recipe.
All right. So
is
I'll
beef
say
alone?
I'll test to the where the
So the throwback recipe. So it's still here.
I don't buy the hype.
They don't put the MSG
Don't
in
buy
that
the
shit.
hype.
No way.
Did they put MSG in that back in the day?
Yes.
They put MSG in everything. Nick.
Everything.
Man, MSG was great.
Why do you
so
think
good.
those old timers are always like, oh, it tastes better in my day? Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
MSG.
it did.
actually
Because it's
did.
full of fat, salt, and
Wait,
MSG.
science with Kevin. What is MSG again?
Sodium glutamate.
There it is.
What is
It's
what is
essentially
that?
real fancy, flavorful salt,
Okay.
Yeah.
but with more
Yeah,
cancer.
that's all.
With
And
more
it just
cancer.
fuck people up,
Yeah.
right?
There was a
there's
show called
tests.
Beetleborgs back in the day.
Here
It was
we
kind of
go.
like a Power Rangers,
Yeah.
like knockoff, but like made by the same people, whatever. I loved it, and they had a promotion for SpaghettiOs where the outside little shell or whatever the fuck, the paper, each had a different Beetleborg theme, and if you collected them all, you got free like exclusive limited edition Beetleborg toys.
Hold on,
So
throw it
of
back
course I
up.
collected a bunch of these, and I got so fucking sick of SpaghettiOs.
Oh my god.
I love, hold on, the Chef Boyardee throwback recipe. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's different. And then you have the little red thing on the can. More meat, more cheese, more goodness. And you bet your ass that goodness is MSG and it's giving you cancer.
Oh man.
Goodness is the G in MSG.
I'll never forget the first time I ate the spaghetti and meatballs from the Chef Boyardee. The taste of the meatballs is still with me because it's so terrible. It's so fucking bad.
I can't do it. Like, I could never do it.
Go
growing
back
up.
to like
Guys,
just
real
get yourself a can of SpaghettiOs with the
Yeah.
Franks.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
now that is still the same. So good.
SpaghettiOs I did fuck with. But like when you were getting Chef Boyardee with the meat
SpaghettiOs?
inside of it as well. I'm sorry, Kevin Coelho from kindoffunny.com. You have a press pool question?
Oh no, I just wanted to stand up for MSG a little bit. Not
Thank
as
you.
bad, not as bad as they say for your
Studies
body.
show it's not that bad.
Yes, study shows not that bad.
The problem is this could be like eggs,
Not
where 1
that
second eggs are
bad.
good,
I
and 1
wanna
second
note
eggs are bad.
That on this shot for audio listeners, Kevin has finally mastered the size that he's supposed to be on the screen, so it does look like he is in fact laying on the ground in front of us when he comes on the camera. See, it actually
little
looks
big
like he's
still.
on
I'm
set
a
right
little
now.
big
Like, 'cause you know how sometimes Cool Greg, you'll walk in and Cool Greg will just be laying behind
Yeah.
the LED screen,
Yeah.
like watching Rugrats.
Yeah.
and you're like,
I don't
man,
know what
wanna
he's been
laugh.
watching recently.
Something weird.
Yeah, I think he's
Monster
watching the
House of the-
Hotel
Yeah.
Transylvania series
He
to
wasn't
get ready
yesterday.
for the onboard summer vacation or whatever the fuck the third one's
I
called.
got it, dude. It's already out. We got to go see it.
Is it already out?
I think it's
It
out.
Not
felt
only
like
is
it
it
was
out-
never
The
going to
game's
come
out,
out.
yeah.
No, not only is it out, it's out in the small Empire Theater right
know.
down by Westport.
And that, my friend, is the perfect place to see it. Maybe I'll call up Cool Greg and see if he wants to go on a date with me this weekend, like a man date.
You know that he would.
I know.
God,
I wanna see it.
I want nothing more than the morning show next week on Monday for be a fucking Hotel Transylvania 3 summer vacation review by Nick Scarpino.
I think we
and
got to
Cool
make
Greg.
this happen.
Yeah.
Now,
sketch.
raising a kid in 2018, but now he's 6 years old.
Yep.
So raising a kid in 2012. Was there a moment where you were like, you know what? We're doing the organic. We're doing the farm fresh. We're doing none of this
My
stuff.
wife just bought, honey, I love you. She just bought the grass-fed milk, and immediately everyone's like, me and the boy look at each other, like, no, thank you.
Kevin,
Yeah.
She's like, I spent
He's
$1
already
million.
been ruined. He's already
Fuck
been ruined.
that.
Nice. It's too late.
look
Well,
at
no,
how
you
terrible
try.
these meatballs look.
No,
in this.
don't throw. This is
Whoa.
gross.
That looks spaghetti.
That looks gross.
And I can taste the slimy, like the sliminess never went away
No.
in these things.
The sliminess is, I fucking love it. There's something about
It's no one calls
That's
it
like-
good. It's just a rite of passage
Kevin, was it you that was telling me about the almond milk not being able to call itself
can't
milk,
call it milk anymore.
Yeah.
because it is no almond.
So now it's almond juice.
Is that what
It's
it's
even
called?
grosser.
No, I don't know. Have they decided on the
They're
official
calling it
name?
almond juice. Yeah.
That's
We
nut juice.
got 'em!
That's
Which is
even
fucking
grosser.
Is
disgusting.
it also
Is that
soy
really where
juice?
we're at with litigation that we can't call almond milk milk? I mean, it's got the texture of milk, somewhat of a taste of milk.
The milk. First of all, it doesn't have the texture or taste. I hate when people call it milk. I
like
love
almond
milk.
milk. Fine. I mean, I don't ever
like
drink it.
vanilla
but
Well, it's
I
nut
don't
juice
know.
now. I
like
don't have a
almond
dog
juice.
in this fight, but
I've
I
been
will
milking
say
Nick's nuts for a
the
long time.
idea that they're milking a nut does sound a little weird. I would say you
Hot.
juice a nut. Like, don't you think juice? You get the juice
Pressed nut?
juices out of a nut. That's
Well,
how
that's
they get
where-
the almond
that's where
milk,
we're
right?
at now. The almond juice.
The milk, I feel like, has to come out of something that
An udder.
like an organic bean.
A teat.
Isn't that how we
teat.
define
A
milk?
teat.
You know,
Kevin, give me the definition of milk.
Because you were the one telling me about this
liquid
low fat.
excreted by a
Was this all
mammary
in the
gland.
same conversation? Maybe.
What do you mean?
You're
I
saying
think
you,
that sounds pretty
you can't
accurate.
say
There we
low
go.
fat anymore.
no,
Because
you can still say low fat. They still put low fat on stuff. It's just people are putting no. Someone was telling us. We were talking to someone. They were like, "No, people put gluten free on shit now because everything's gluten free, so you can just put it on the box."
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Milk is a
I thought this was
white.
the morning
This was
show.
a conversation that
wise,
was
Gregory.
happening.
Milk is a white, liquid, nutrient-rich food produced by the mammary glands of mammals.
Yeah, so obviously you can't say an almond milk because last time I saw almonds, they're not alive.
Hey man, it's 2018. If the
I was
almond
gonna say,
identifies as a milk,
We're
it
throwing all
identifies
these
as
words
a mammal.
around like fucking crazy. Like you're not drinking almond milk thinking it's milk. You understand that it's
No,
some kind of
dude.
weird thing.
As,
do.
no, as
People
someone
are
who's
dumb as
heavy,
shit, dude.
as someone who is like very much lactose intolerant but also loves milk, I can't tell you many times people have been like, "Oh, don't drink that. Have some almond milk. It's the same." It's not the fucking same. It
I'm not
tastes
saying it's the
different.
same.
I
I'm saying
hate
people-
It.
I
I hate it.
I love the taste.
I think
of
you
it.
understand, unless you're a moron, when you look at almond milk, you understand it's not like almonds mixed with cow's milk.
But here's the thing. I think
I
there's a bunch of
don't.
morons
When you
out
look
there.
at it,
that's
look
like,
at that. Are you like if you did
looks
not
like
see
milk.
the nuts, even if you see the nuts next to it, if you didn't see the words almond milk, you would just
Because in
think
that picture, those are almonds and real milk.
this looks like milk and cookies, just really small
That-
little
exactly.
cookies.
Yes, Tim. Yes. They look like.
Don't
yeah.
waste the crumbs.com.
No, that's real milk.
truth
next to
is
it.
out
It doesn't look
there.
anything like
Kevin, take me to don'twastethecrumbs.com, please, off this image and see where we're going down this rabbit hole. Don'twastethecrumbs.com.
I love podcasts that
Is-
when we do
Nice.
this.
Scroll
I
to the
love
top.
when we
Yeah,
do
is there
this.
like a start here? Click on start here.
It's make almond milk at home.
Welcome to Crumbs. I'm so glad you've come to visit. If this is your first time at Don't Waste the Crumbs, you've started at the right spot. My name is Tiffany, and I'm a blessed wife and mom to 2 wonderful kids. I was born to a chef, and I have a knack for numbers. I've always loved food too, so I guess you could say I've been a bean counter since birth. I am passionate about feeding my family healthy food and being a good steward of our finances. Don't Waste the Crumbs is a place where I share about our journey to healthier living and how you can take the steps alongside me. You can read more about me and why we started our real food journey here. Life is busy enough already. Who can find the time to cook everything from scratch?
I think we've heard it all.
Add
Yeah, I was
into
like,
that,
why
I'm
are we
almost
still-
done.
where
Add
did
into
you
that
go?
making a meal plan and a
completionist
grocery
here, isn't
budget, and you're spent time and money wise. Here at Crumbs, I share easy, practical ways to keep up with real food cooking, meal planning, and budgeting. And the toughest part is really knowing where to start.
What is this website? What is
It's
this?
hot. She just explained it. Did you not listen to anything I just
Not
said?
a lot.
I know this
I
all
tuned
just
out
a bunch of
personally.
Tiffany's
nothing.
here to show you how to don't waste the crumbs. She's going to show you how to take your leftover fucking
it. Okay.
broccoli stems and put them in and fucking fuel the car and make some coffee. You know how it
That'd be
goes.
amazing.
Look at that almond milk right
Know
there.
what you're putting on your body, dude.
That's just like food, household products can contain.
I
some
love
pretty
these sites. I'll be
ingredients.
honest. I go down these rabbit holes every once in a while. You know me. Like in
I know
my,
you.
in my
I know.
quest for the easiest knowledge possible on nutrition and health, I love the people that make like the organic sauce.
Shout out to the Tiffany's, you know.
Dude, the Tiffany's
God
are
bless
fucking
Tiffany.
wild.
God's
God bless
work
Tiffany.
out there.
There's two
Kevin,
parts
I
of
want
me.
to see Tiffany's
Making
Twitter
money
at some
off
point.
of dumb idiots like you.
Dude, I'll tell you, there's two parts of me. There's the part that
Always
wants to
make
make fun of
money.
them, and then the part that's so
You're
intrigued
trying to
by
tell
them.
me that she's not making. Do you see how many ads were
She got
on
a lot
that
of money.
fucking
Don't
site?
waste the
that she was
crumbs.com is
promoting her own
monetized,
content?
Kevin.
We are giving it free promotion right now. We're pushing
Everybody,
people.
I'm Greg Miller from kindoffunny.com, and I urge you to go to don'twastethecrumbs.com. Reach into the couch cushions, find some crumbs, put them in with some sea flax, and you got yourself a stew.
Sea flax.
That's where stovetop
I
is.
have a
favorite
very
kind of
firm
flax.
Here we go.
anti-Tiffany
Tiffany
stance.
at Don't Waste the Crumbs on Twitter. 1378 followers. Everybody tweet at her and say, I saw you on Kind of Funny Vids.
It's,
At
tri-
kind of,
it's
at kind of funny.
tripping me out because every time
She's
I
in
just, at a
California. This is an
glance-
easy crossover.
Great.
At a glance, she looks like the redheaded actress from Sex and the City.
Oh,
Like, I
from
look over-
Scott Pilgrim. Allison
I
Pill.
know.
Is
No, that's Newsroom.
Same girl.
Cynthia
No.
Nixon.
Oh,
Cynthia Nixon.
Oh
is
no,
what
no,
I'm
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I'm not
I keep looking over. I was like,
All right,
why
I'm
is
dumb.
Cynthia Nixon doing a Whole Foods company?
Good for her, man. She,
Good for
you
her.
know what I mean? Diversify 2018. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Game Over Greggy show. What are you? Oh, you're showing more Cynthia Nixon here. What do we?
Go back to Allison
Kevin's
Pill.
hovering
I'm
over the
closer.
article. Cynthia Nixon, like Bernie Sanders before her, has a problem with black Democrats. Thank you, Kevin. How am I supposed to do the image, the fucking intro of the show when CNN.com is laying it out here? I don't know what to do. If you didn't know, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early. How early, Gibby?
You'll be watching it today.
That's right. You can be watching live right now for just $1. Of course, if you wanted to get a little bit later, but also early, you could go over each and every Friday on patreon.com/kindafunny. Get the early audio, get the earlier video, which includes the pre-show and the post-show that we do with the live show, but it's only on the videos on the Friday. If you don't want to give us any money, no big deal. Wait an entire week. Jump on over to youtube.com/kindafunny. You go there, you get the show, you get on podcast services around the globe. Of course, Gibby himself supported us on Patreon to come be on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, what we do here is you get to come in early, you get to see us record the shows, you hang out,
Yep.
we take you to lunch.
It was
So
delicious.
far, have we lived up to expectations?
Every word of it.
Have you seen when Andrea sent back the steak? Were you like, this is what Greg's always
she asked
talking
for,
about?
She asked for it on the side, Greg.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
No.
You start giving them specifics.
steak
They're
on the
like,
side.
Oh, at Outback Steakhouse? No, I appreciated our waiter being like, she's like, where are the wines on this thing? And he's like, I
I'm
don't
not a
know.
wine guy.
And I'm not a wine guy. I can't help. He knew nothing. He's like, he just got there. I made a joke one time because they were Tim.
Yes.
They were no longer using coasters at the Outback Steakhouse, and apparently this is a big question at our table. So it got brought up. Where are the coasters? And the guy's like, I don't know. We just discontinued them. And I said, that's how they do it in Australia. And he just looked at me like, "Phew." And he didn't register that's
Didn't
a
wanna
joke.
say yes, didn't
He
wanna
was
say
in over his
no.
head with a table of 7 and just
Yeah.
kept moving,
No,
which
but
I
the
appreciate.
best
That's
part
gonna
of the
get you
story
banned from Australia
is that
now.
Andrea,
Same thing.
Andrea, myself, and Tim ordered the exact same thing. We ordered 8-ounce filet mignons. Yeah, we're fancy as fuck, but only the best.
She got a 6.
She got a 6?
She got a 6.
I got an 8. Okay. You got an 8, right? Yours came out like a filet mignon. It's supposed to look like really thick cut of meat, like high off the plate, right? Not a flat like a sirloin, but you're talking at least 2 inches, if not 2.5 inches for a good cut of meat. Hockey puck look, right?
Yeah.
Mine came out looked exactly like a sirloin, and I'm like, I'm too hungry to give a fuck.
Now,
about
to be
this.
fair, it didn't look exactly like a sirloin because
It was halfway in between the sirloin.
Outback sirloins are my normal order.
They're much
and
bigger.
They're much bigger, thinner though.
Would you say it's fair to say it looked more like a sirloin steak than a filet mignon?
I'll remind you, you're under oath.
The under oath. It's a little. I mean, it did look more like a sirloin size-wise from the top down
Like
perspective.
it looks like they took a fillet and flattened it out
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes.
And so I saw mine and I'm like, that's probably not a fillet, but I really don't
We're
care
at
because to be
Outback.
perfectly honest, we're at Outback and I've had the fillet and the sirloin and taste-wise, there's no
It's the
fucking
fucking
difference. It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
guess what? Kevin's mac and cheese came out cooked, which is one up over Cool Greg's
That's
frozen
huge.
mac and cheese that one time.
And
so
Cool
who
Greg,
cares?
I will say, had a delightful meal. He looked like he enjoyed the whole thing so much so that he packed it into a little to-go bag and took it with him with the
And the
bread.
bread.
Shout out to him.
And the bread.
Also poured a little A1 steak sauce in there.
He's ready
so
to
he's got
go,
the
man.
full kit ready
You got
for
that
later.
party. Kit
That's
and
what,
caboodle.
that's what a ration is like in the military, right? You just jump out, you're ready to go. Everything you need's right there.
Now Andrea's steak comes and it looks exactly like mine. And I see her do the eye thing. And then she
Andrea
goes-
takes no shit.
She goes, and she cuts into it, and it's cooked totally wrong, of course, because she wanted it like medium rare, and they just cook the shit out of everything at Outback Steakhouse. And so she cuts into it, looks at it.
To be fair, she said medium.
Did she say medium?
She said medium.
Well, either way, it was like, it was cooked wrong in her eyes.
I went
And
rare, and man, do they make those bad boys rare. I
They
love them.
keep them mooing.
God bless Outback.
God bless you, Outback Steakhouse.
So what's hilarious is she goes, "Excuse me, sir. I think this is supposed to be a fillet. I don't think this is a fillet based on my knowledge of." How
And
what a
again,
fillet is
this
supposed
guy
to be.
who's not a wine guy, also not a steak
Also
guy,
not
and
a
really
steak
has
guy.
no answers.
Really doesn't have. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's the
Or
fillet.
Australia.
He's like, "It looks like
no,
kangaroo to
This is
me."
definitely not the fillet, right? Guy goes, "No problem." She's like, "Also, it's cooked wrong." He goes, "No problem. I'll have them actually make sure it's a fillet, and then they'll cook it the right way for you, and I'll bring it back." Guy comes back like 5 minutes later with, I shit you not, the same steak. They
It was
just
the
glued,
exact
they like
same
glued it back
steak.
together and put it in. And she was like, "All right." And I saw it. she started getting mad. And then she goes, "Did you see what she did?" She goes, "Can I
Can I
have a
get
menu?
just for can I see the menu?
Can I get the menu?" Gets the menu, turns to me because she knows I think anyone at the table that I will sympathize,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. She points to the picture of the fillet, which looks exactly like your fillet and nothing like mine or hers, and goes, "Am I fucking crazy right now?" And I'm like, "You're not crazy, but we're also super late for this episode of the GameOverGreggy show that we have to shoot, so like we got to find common ground here." And she was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck it, I'll take it."
Well, then she just went silent for a while, and like
And then
5
she
minutes
was,
in,
like,
you
seething at
you
it.
busted up laughing. You're like, she can't get over it. She
was
she's
looking
like,
at
I'm just
this-
gonna take it home and put it in stir fry.
She was looking at the steak out of the corner of her
God
eye.
I offered him mine.
Like it
I
fucking
said, "Hey,
owed
would
her
you like
money.
mine
She
instead?"
was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
pissed at it. It was the best. It was the best.
I'll tell you what, my
That's
cheese fries and wings, top notch. Don't worry about it.
You look
Don't
at a good
order,
time.
don't
Lemon
order
onion?
anything fancy.
Don't get crazy.
Yeah.
Today, this is the first time I've ever got the filet at Outback just because I wanted to see if it was different.
Not.
Spoilers. It's not. Not different. It's
When
fucking
you ordered
not.
it, I chuckled and was like, "That seems dumb."
Yep. It was dumb. Unnecessary.
Today, we're brought to you by Blue Apron and the Venture Brothers.
Talk about cooking.
I'll talk to you about all that later. For now, I want to say, Nick, what's your topic?
My topic today is based off of Cobra Kai, you know, the series on YouTube.
How can let's
Quite
forget.
familiar.
You sold me on it, and I still haven't watched it.
I loved the series. I was Tim,
Yes.
you've been on me. You've been with me on the
No,
morning
no,
show.
it's both are correct. Both are correct.
No,
He's
it's
been
Tim.
on
He's
you.
never been on top of me. If I said Greg's been on top of me multiple times, people just believe it. People believe it. They get a picture of their mind. You're shirtless.
My
I'm
favorite.
almost shirtless. I can't stand my body.
A
You
lot of
love your
people
body
don't
way
know
too
this. A
much.
lot of people don't know us and know this about us.
Yeah.
Or know us. But what we like to do here is do some improv after hours.
Yeah.
You might have noticed we've got a really good shtick going lately. And so, yeah, we've been on top of each other a few times. One of my favorite things we ever do, it's called the single chair.
Yeah.
Where we say, get on the chair, and how many bits can you do?
There it is. See him get his leg over that? And
Bit
now
number one,
We're on,
we're on a
horse.
motorcycle.
Oh, okay. Wow. This is an old motorcycle. It really needs a tune-up.
Bit number two, we've jumped out of an airplane and we're tandem diving.
Hey, it's my 1st
You're going to be okay. Don't panic.
I'm so happy it's with you.
Bit number two, or three, I'm a talking tumor.
Great.
Wow.
The reactor.
Wow.
And we can go on like this.
Yeah.
We can go on like
What
this.
number? What's your max that you've gotten up to?
27.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 27.
Wow.
But then they start to get
get
like
repetitive after a while?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
like-
I'm no longer a tumor. I'm a tick.
Like
I'm
a
no
14,
longer
you
I'm a
reach your
tick.
peak,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm
I'm
a
a
kid.
parrot. The same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You would make a dope
I'm a
parrot.
leech. Like, stand by me. No, you've been with me on the morning show when I was lamenting about YouTube Red and how they were like, we're bringing this series. And I was like, this is a terrible idea, right? Why would you take a beloved 80s movie and turn it into a YouTube Red series? And boy, after I watched it, was I wrong. So
Right,
the
right.
topic I have is what other I'll open it up. What other, not just 80s movies, 80s and 90s movies do you think would make excellent YouTube Red series?
Ooh. Now
Series
here's the
eyes.
thing with excellent.
Yeah.
It's
that's
casting an
And
option.
by the way, I think this came.
because it's casting an option. Do you have to
course.
keep it in?
No, you do. I mean, to put it in context, and by the way, I think this came from Twitter, and I apologize if.
By the way, I totally knocked this. Stole this
I
topic.
think I
Stole
have
this
it in my
topic from
notes,
Twitter.
but what do you mean? Define casting an option. What does that
Does
mean?
it have to be the original cast, or
Yes.
Or damn it, that doesn't work for me.
Yes. See, I feel like you got to bring some people back originally.
You know
from
what?
the
And
cast.
mine still stands then.
What is it? Lay it on me.
Inner
Go give me-
Space.
Inner Space.
That would
Originally, I
work.
wanted to
Dennis
remake.
Quaid, Martin Short,
Hands
Meg
down.
Ryan.
But what I really wanted to do is like remake Inner Space eventually, but with
I don't have a list.
I wanted what's his name Paul Feig to redirect it, so you had Melissa McCarthy and Kevin Hart and remake Inner Space. Sorry about that.
No. I'm just.
But if you're saying
Who gets to go inside who? Because if
yeah.
Melissa McCarthy gets to go inside Kevin Hart, I'm in.
Oh, 100%.
I'm fucking in.
And there
That
will
is a
be,
really
and there
good one,
will be a
actually.
joke
That is
about
really
that.
good.
There will be a joke about that. She's like, I bet you this is the first time, and you fill in the blank.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
And
I
then,
like
but
that.
if you're keeping the original cast, bring Dennis Quaid out. Bring Martin Short out. Let them have Jack Putter to the rescue and let them do all that crap
Well,
all
see,
over
here's
again.
the thing. Are you familiar with Dennis Quaid's son, Jack Quaid, friend of the show?
I am not.
He is a great comedian. He
you
did a
better
lot
call me out.
of sketch comedy on YouTube, and then was in that what is it? The show, the Vinyl show on HBO. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's going to be in The Boys, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Great comic.
Exactly. He could easily be Dennis Quaid's son, right?
Oh, nice.
And that's the thing. They've restarted the program. He's in. He's yeah.
Dennis Quaid kind of looks like a catcher's mitt by this point. So
Sure.
Still jacked. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
he is.
No,
Still got a
totally.
six pack.
I mean, but
which
he's
is ridiculous.
what? Is the catcher's mitt? Yeah.
You got me.
I kicked you. I apologize.
That's not a problem.
That could work. That would be good. I would love to see Inner Space, but as a Netflix series or a YouTube series.
Yeah.
my
Well, yeah, but
apologies.
if you picked an adventure where you
rat.
dug these guys out of the
Might as
mothballs
well
for
do
whatever
that.
reason and go on your stupid adventure, it plays itself. Yes, and there it is.
He's still fucking good looking. I don't care.
Oh,
He's still
Jesus
so
Christ.
fucking
He looks like
jacked.
Cable in that.
Yeah,
He
he looks like
does.
he's trying
He looks
real hard.
awesome right there.
I
Jeez, I
love
wanna
his hair. He's
buff
got
up just because of
fantastic
that.
hair, and he's just
Yeah, don't rub that in.
jacked. Look at him.
You think he's dehydrated?
Are we showing? Oh, we are showing this.
No,
video.
I think Dennis Quaid's has always been very skinny. He's
No,
just
I'm talking about the
naturally skinny.
veins sticking out
Nah,
of
he's
his
just
arm
old.
like that.
No, he's
Yeah, when you
he's
get older, your
No,
veins
but
are-
also there comes when your body fat starts
I didn't even
dropping
think
down.
about this too. You know what's fucked up is, of course, Meg Ryan, the co-star in Inner Space.
Yeah.
They're actually married.
Yeah.
They are the
Yeah, they're the
they are the
couple.
mom and dad in real life to Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
This series just wrote itself. You know what I mean?
Call them.
That's
I'll
true.
call Jack right now.
And I want
Call him
10%.
right now. So we need
and
an
I just
Space
want,
YouTube Red Series.
I'll take 5%.
What's
finder's
Martin
fee.
Short up to? Are they still making Jiminy Glick?
No,
He
him and
just-
Steve
no.
Martin just did that special.
Yeah, they just did the special on Netflix.
What's what? Who?
This is Steve
Oh,
Martin.
you're right.
I missed that.
Sorry,
It's
Steve
about
I didn't
Martin
like it.
Short.
It was weird.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I
it was
couldn't.
way too
Elise,
kitschy.
Elise told me, she was like, "You got to watch it. You'll love it." I watched 10 minutes. I was like, "No."
Elise has bad taste.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
It just did not.
Speaking
click.
of Meg Ryan, what about You've Got Mail, the series? We'll
No,
figure it out.
no,
It's a modern
no,
time.
no,
You've got
no.
text messages.
No. That doesn't-
You've got DMs.
You got IM.
They got the Tinder now, and they got all that stuff.
You've
I mean,
got
that's the thing.
Tinder.
It's,
You got
it's
swiped.
Tom Hanks
You
and
got
Meg
matched.
Ryan's daughter trying to make it in a workaday world.
Just a small town girl.
an app
Living
thing.
in love.
What'd you say back there, Kevin? You yelled something.
Why does it always have to be the kids? Is what he said, which is a good point.
I mean,
Which
'cause
is
that's
why I
what do you want it
nominate
to- oh, God.
Goonies.
I was gonna say.
And now here's the
Goonies.
thing with Goonies. It's like it just
Straight.
wouldn't fucking work. I want a bunch of different kids, different groups of kids
Yeah.
that have heard about the legacy of
Goonies.
these goddamn
Same
When I
town,
will.
right? So you tied in the same town, right?
the same town of
Portland, Oregon, or
Astoria,
whatever it was.
wasn't
Was
it?
Seattle?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
No,
want to
Astoria,
start there,
Oregon,
though.
was it?
Story as
Yep.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want every episode being a different group of kids that have
Interesting.
heard about these
my-
Goonies. Yeah.
Now my
And
question is,
then
can we-
eventually build up to having the reveal of
What,
some of the original
what are the
Goonies.
different groups of kids doing?
Who cares? This show's gonna fucking suck, right?
No.
No, he
because
just said
again,
his thing was it has to be
Cobra
excellent.
Kai.
Excellent.
Not
Yeah.
just good.
I
Excellent.
don't know that there's many options that can work.
I think
that
the,
was
I
a
think the Goonies
fluke.
could. I think the Goonies could really work, and I think the reason it could really work is because one of the things that the Cobra Kai people did was they were like, "Look, we get it. Right? We understand. We understand all of the criticisms people are going to render against this. So let's embrace that and let's turn it on its side." And they really did. They had fun with the characters. They had fun with the themes, and they infused a ton of heart and a ton of like realness in this series. I think you could do the same thing with the Goonies. I think if you had a new group of kids who were growing up in the same town, you could come at it from a different angle and still tell a really cool story. And also, it's like, it's treasure hunting. You got them out in the woods for a while. That's not expensive. Just get them out in the woods.
That's
for
the
a
biggest
while.
thing is you have to keep your effects budget in control,
In
right?
check, yeah.
exactly.
Because
exactly.
you only have like, judging based off of the production value of Cobra Kai, $15 to $20 per episode.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not much. That's not
Okay.
much.
It's not a lot. I'm pretty sure Ralph Macchio's like, I'm not doing anything. Just come over to my house. We'll film. It's fine. They filmed all his shit at his house. That was pretty much it.
In a parking lot for the rust.
Yeah, exactly. William Zapka, not doing anything. They were like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing. Literally nothing."
Nothing.
He's
Come
like
over to my
staring at the
house.
wall until they
Give me
call.
something.
And
Yeah,
those
that
few
was
guest
it.
spots on How I Met Your Mother, and that was
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Who's got on that?
My
Yeah.
pick is Sacrilege, of course. And it would never happen based on a whole bunch of rights and things like that.
Yeah.
But the one I would want to see is Back to the Future.
Oh, Back to the
You know what I
Future would be
mean? And I
great.
know that Bob Yale and Spielberg, they're like, never doing anything else with it. It's written into the will that the kids get the IP rights, but they can't make another one and yada, yada, yada. They made a video game. They're willing to bend, right? I feel like you do this here where, again, Kevin's like, why is it always got to be the kids? Because we got to keep the original cast and nobody wants to see old people do anything. So what it is totally that Michael J. Fox and the kids are there. We have what do you got for me, Kev?
I just think it's funny when it's always like the same family. Like, you move on.
Yeah, I don't fuck with
Just
it. It's like
redo
tattooing over and over.
Like,
That's why
the
shit's
rule
bad
was we can't
sometimes.
redo it. We have to have the original cast involved.
They can be involved. They don't need to be the parents. They
Yeah.
don't need to be. Well, it's not like,
It's not
hey,
like
they're
that.
gonna do
I mean,
the
I feel
exact same
like
thing
Goonies,
again.
you bring in Sean Astin, you bring in Josh Brolin, you got two people there that
Feldman's
are
still around, right? He can
Huge,
come
right?
do it.
Which one?
Feldman, Corey Feldman,
Corey Feldman. Yeah, we're not gonna want to.
Yeah, he's
Corey.
gonna hurt
Data
right
still
now.
around?
We're gonna want to keep. Data's still around, probably. Yeah.
Chunk.
Chunk, yeah, still
Chunk
around.
is definitely still around.
Yeah.
Really? What's it?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
He's dancing at football games. We were just told a story recently. Someone
Yeah.
we know. Who was it?
Makuga, maybe.
That's a cop. That's
No,
a cop car on
I
our
feel like it
side.
was
Ben Silverman.
Ben Silverman.
I met him.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he was
we know
tell-
Ben
He was
Silverman.
telling me all
Yeah,
about.
we
He
know
went
Ben.
to college with Chunk,
Holy shit! I didn't know
and
this.
he would do.
That's Chunk right now.
Yeah, Jeff
dance-
Cohen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
no.
Kevin, show this. Chunk grew up and he looks good.
What else has he been in? Nothing.
Nothing. Surveillance, apparently. The Living Century. He was a producer
I'd
on.
love to interview this guy and be like,
Is that
what was your life like after Goonies, and then like what happened?
Goonies is just like there's a franchise there. It's so crazy that Goonies, for as iconic as it is just one movie and one video game.
Well, don't worry, it's gonna get ruined.
That's it. And the video wasn't the video game bad, like really bad?
Goonies
though?
2, yeah, it was not
Goonies
good.
2 was dope.
That was it good.
Goonies 2 was good. Goonies 2 was good.
Goonies 2.
Goonies 2.
Goonies 2 is the
Goonies.
video game, right?
Yeah.
I'd watch Gooney Tunes.
Yeah, Gooney
Yeah.
Tunes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, they'll definitely reboot Goonies at some point. It can't be far off. I would say in the next 7 years, you have a
They
new
did.
Goonies.
It's called Stranger Things, and it's
Great point.
I mean,
Great
that's,
point.
they did that. They took the spirit of it and then just mixed it with all the other stuff.
That's
It's
See,
very
the thing,
solid
the thing
point.
I like
You make
about
a
both
solid
of
point.
these, and like I'm seeing a little bit more with Back to the Future. Obviously, this will never happen because for all the reasons that Greg just listed. But you could have so much fun, like with a web series of Back to the Future, with a little bit of money and with some creativity. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have to.
Well, that's the thing,
You don't
right?
have to conform to the normal TV style and standard.
The simplest thing, and I know I blew the load here, and I've already lost Kevin. When I lose Kevin, I lose the entire audience. But
It's Kevin.
it
the
is
audience. He's
based
the glue.
on Michael J.
That's
Fox's
6 years
kids,
shit.
right? And it is, and maybe not even, it's his grandkids at this point, I guess, or whatever. But the youngins stumble upon the DeLorean that didn't get destroyed for some reason. We just retcon it. Who cares?
And then it's just them going back to.
And they
different
go
eras.
back accidentally, right? And maybe it is Marty, is already Doc's already passed away and stuff, so he's got to go back in time a little bit to get Doc. You know
Now
what I mean?
here is where that gets good.
Lay it on me.
Budget wise,
Yeah.
they can go back to one of the other movies. just
1955.
use all the footage.
Sure.
That's
And
what
then
I was just
green
gonna say.
screen
They
it.
won't
What if
even
they
make
went
that
back
shit,
again,
though.
and when he's
They'll do
there,
it.
The Forrest Gump just kind of looking around
You do it a
thing.
third time, and then when Marty's there, they're in the fucking far, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Marty, and then they're in the background.
That's
like,
cool.
Fuck, we gotta get out.
But you're
Like,
gonna get those
that could
shitty
be
things
super
I always
fun.
hate when you do that, where you piece it together, where then it's like the over-the-shoulder shot talking to the new people, and it's like that's clearly not Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox.
Well,
Bad.
I
There'll
mean,
be a whole
well,
bunch of
you
that,
know,
man.
yeah,
It's
but that-
YouTube bread.
Kevin Coelho from thekindafunny.com. You have a question from the
I
press
didn't
pool?
hear that you were talking about Back to the Future when I said the kid stuff.
Well, originally I
Hold
pitched
on
it
a
to somebody.
second, because that one's important where the family has to, like, it's always been about their family.
Yeah.
No shit that Back to the Future's got to stay in the McFly family.
Like how it would not be
Good
that
last day. I
hard
never thought about that.
budgetarily with current technology for them to go back to the future in Back to the Future 2. Like all that stuff would be super easy to make right now with current technology. The hoverboards, all that shit. Like just make it that bad effect.
Well, that's
still,
even
like,
the interesting thing of playing with how
Interesting.
your
know?
divergent timelines of like having a conversation in there of like, man, what did we do? We went back and of course I'm a big Back to the Future dork. Sorry, everybody. When Back to the Future 3, when they come back, Marty, or no, it's Back to the Future 2 actually. Marty, doesn't race needles and he doesn't get in the accident with a Rolls
Right.
Royce, so he doesn't ruin his career, doesn't get fired, all that stuff.
ruin his
But
hand.
that choice also splinters off the timeline, so we never get flying cars. Like trying to trace that back of like how that happened, of like the guy in the Rolls Royce after it happened was like, I'll never let this happen again. Cars have to fly. They'll be safer than cars on the road.
possible. It's
Yeah, yeah.
possible, right? And that's why. But I mean, yeah, wasn't the joke that what was it, like 2016 or 2017?
Oh yeah, no, we're way past that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it was
way
it was
past
when
it,
the Cubs almost went to the World Series. Not when
Yeah.
they won it, but yeah, when they almost won.
I just think it could be so fun. You could play with all that stuff. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
get to like, they go to the future. It's 2050, and they finally have the flying cars, but they also have those stupid ass jackets that like
Your
like, suck
jacket
to
is
you and all that stuff.
dry.
And they'd be like, what the fuck? Why would anyone need this shit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just totally have a commentary on all that stuff.
But like, think about that. That'd be just such a
1950s and how he
a
never
f-
freaked out, and
a
they'd be
fun,
like, this fucking
a fun
sucks.
like setup
Like,
to the
there's
whole
no
thing,
internet here
right? Is
whatsoever.
that it's Marty's grandkid. That way, and whatever, and it's like him telling them all these stories that like sound fantastical,
Yeah.
but they are Back to the Future too. Of you went there, and Pepsi was the most dominant brand on earth. They're like, all right, Dad. All right,
Sure.
Grandpa,
I'm
another
I'm gonna throw this-
yarn.
Obviously, this is an obvious thing.
Yeah.
But the whole crux of the series could be they go back to the past with cell phone in hand or whatever. Someone leaves a cell phone back there. Come back. Everything's totally changed.
Sure. Yeah,
'Cause they left
exactly.
the iPhone fucking X back there, and someone found it, reverse engineered it, and it's like a totalitarian future. You can do all sorts of fun shit. That's season 1. Season 2 could be them going into the future farther. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there's so much easy shit you could do with that. And again, I'm not talking like hour-long episodes. 15 minutes long, get in, get out. Enough time to just tell a little bit of a story, and the whole thing ends up being like
How
2
long
hours.
are Cobra Kai episodes?
I want to say 20 minutes.
Like I feel like
22
these.
minutes, something
I
like
would
that.
want these to be longer. I would want to do it like if we're doing it, we're doing like 5 1-hour shows tops.
5. I don't want them 1 hour because I think that's too much
much?
production.
Okay.
I think 20 to 30 minute episodes, and then you do. I think Cobra Kai was like 8 episodes, and that's pretty great.
That sounds good.
Now I got a question
you're
for
only
yours.
at, like, 3
yours
hours or
specifically.
4 hours.
Lay it on me, Gibby.
All right, can you, instead of heading with that, ignore the cogent narrative? Don't have something that actually makes sense. Could
Kevin's
you
giving you eyes. Is he not on the mic enough?
Oh.
Is he getting bad at the mic? Just rotate the mic to me.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm watching you.
You were
No, my point is, can they just be like those weird one-offs? They don't have to actually have a narrative that it's just a self-contained 20-minute
Sure,
story.
I just feel
That's
like
it.
then we're getting into Back to the Future, the animated series, which seems like well-worn territory. Of course, we were with Jules
Monster of the
Verne.
Week.
Is Christopher
remember that.
Lloyd, is Christopher Lloyd still alive?
In real life, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's,
Can he be involved?
that's what I'm saying. Is I think it's a cool thing to play with that he's in the timeline.
train.
He's dead.
Well, the time train.
Yeah. But I think in the timeline of Back to the Future, the YouTube series, he's passed away a couple years ago, and so we get a whole season of them trying to get back the grandkid. Biff's involved, all sorts of hook and crook stuff, and then at the very end they're like, "We need Doc," and they go back and get Doc.
But it's been literally episode 1, they find the DeLorean. Episode 2, they go back and they get stuck back there. Episode 3, they make it back and everything's different. You know what I mean? Like this shit just fucking writes itself.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, yeah.
Why doesn't it happen?
So
Let's do
good.
it. You know what I mean? Come
Call
on.
up Bob Gale right now.
They won't let it go.
Call him up.
Another one I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now hear me out here. The idea is, I
Just
only got
another day off.
I only got the first episode. I don't really know where it goes. No, we are in the future.
Brainstorm.
Going off Greg Miller's
You
thing.
had
here.
me at Ferris
He has
Bueller's Day Off.
kids, 2 kids, right?
With Sloane.
One of the kids
Sloane.
is just like him. Troublemaker, getting all types of shit. Now he needs to deal with it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, fucking
This kid
goddamn.
sucks.
The other
And
kid,
it's like, you can't outfox me. I'm Ferris fucking Bueller.
Exactly.
But he keeps outfoxing me. He's always he's the, not in an asshole way, Mr. Rooney, but he's like the Mr. Rooney. Not the pedophilia part, but the part of like,
Yeah.
that's real.
Not
That's
the part-
real.
not the
That's
part where
real.
He literally
he
decides
did.
I'm going to break and enter into one of my students' houses, which is totally fucking against the law.
It was the
And
80s.
at no
It was the
point
80s
did he
in
ever
Chicago
think-
suburbs.
Like,
It was a different
what was
time.
his fucking plan? Gotcha, motherfucker! You just broke into my house. You are going to jail
Ferris
for
Bueller
life. I might
shotguns
get
him.
suspended. You're going to jail.
yeah.
Bow, bow.
I got your DNA all over the
Anyways,
fucking place. This
I'm
is
sorry,
good
you were going
DNA.
further with that.
The other kid is Goody Two Shoes. Like will
Gene-
never
the genie character.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the thing is, he relates more to that one
Yeah.
in his later age. But that one wants nothing more than to be what he used to be.
Telling you
So he
right
just
now.
keeps talking to him, like, "Dad, tell me the stories." Ferris keeps telling him, but then the other kid wants to hear the stories. Like, I can't be telling you this shit because
No.
I'm just egging you on. There's something there. I
You
like it.
you are nailing the dynamic of Cobra Kai. Now, what if I were to tell you in Cobra Kai?
Tell me, Nick.
Oh, God,
That,
is
you
this
know-
did we just watch into an infomercial for Cobra Kai?
What if I were to tell you that in Cobra Kai, Daniel LaRusso's character, what's his name? Ralph Macchio's character,
Macchio.
Daniel LaRusso, ends up training Johnny's kid.
I'm into it.
And Johnny ends up training this nice kid that dates Daniel LaRusso's daughter.
Is the next
then-
Karate Kid involved at all?
Not at all.
That's
Not at
no
all. Hilary
mention of it?
Swank, not even invited.
Well, $1 Million Baby was a spin-off to that, right?
Yes, correct. Actually, no. The one where she was. Oh, that's a bad joke. I'm not going to make that one. I can't remember the name of the movie anyway. Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry
You're
was
with
in
that
that
one, aren't you?
universe, but that was just that's. Don't worry about it.
Oh, she's transgender in that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It was a dumb joke. Yeah. So you're nailing the idea of like, cool. That's a perfect angle for it because the kid that's not the rapscallion, the kid that's not trying to break all the rules, he relates more to that kid. And the
That's
other
funny.
kid, the other kid's the problem.
No.
And it's nice because with Cobra Kai, I think what they were able to do was they were like, what would this situation be like now with our modern sensibilities, with society being where it's at? Like, how would we look at these kids more? Is Johnny just this fucking asshole? Like, is he this stereotypical fucking asshole, or was there some past trauma that happened to him that we can sympathize with?
Which is what happens in
Which
Cobra
is
Kai,
exactly
right?
what happens, right? You see his upbringing where he has a stepdad's a fucking asshole who like is super abusive to him, and the only place he feels where he has control is in the dojo. And then of course he meets this other guy who is the head of the dojo, who's like, if you do this, you will be in control of your life. And he goes, cool, I'm gonna follow suit. But he's a kid, young and impressionable, and he gets fucking indoctrinated
leg.
into this thing. And it's really, really cool. So I think the Ferris Bueller's Day Off could work. Definitely work. You guys are nailing this topic. You know how sometimes my topics suck? This is a good one.
You crushed it.
This is a really good one.
Here's what I want to bring to the table.
What did
go
you
for it.
pick?
I didn't actually have one. The only one I was thinking of was like there's a movie called The Last Dragon, which I would love for them to remake.
I am the last dragon. That
Like
one?
it's such a weird, fantastical, like you could do anything with
You
it.
want that
Kung
to be
fu
a
movie.
YouTube show, though.
Could be a fun kung fu.
I feel like that's where it gets clunky when you got to start using a lot of computer generated stuff, right?
Well,
That
no.
doesn't-
Again, remember they just do the same effect, and that's super easy to do with
I
After
think, well,
Effects.
if you're using-
Plus, how many YouTubers do kung fu? It's pretty easy to grab a couple of them. Like,
'Cause your
just
other
flip
answer
a little
is-
bit here and there. Right?
Yeah.
Wait,
The
is
other
the
is
last
Tron.
dragon not the one I'm thinking of?
The Last Dragon's the one with Bruce Leroy and Shonuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking of, remember the Sean Connery one where he goes, I am the last dragon.
That's Dragonheart, I think.
Thank you. That
Yeah,
then
no, no,
yours
no.
is much
Dragonheart,
easier
that's
to make than
also
mine.
the Randy Quaid.
I was like, how are we going to make
Dennis Quaid.
one graphic?
The Last
for
Dragon. The Last Dragon is a movie. Barry Gordon's The Last
Yep.
Dragon, and it was a kung fu movie set in like Harlem. And and this is the
Oh.
kid who's been training kung fu, and he's like he loves Bruce Lee, and he's training in the same
Blast
system.
of his kind.
And there's
best.
there's like this theory where if you get to the end of this circle of training, you develop this power that like I forget what it's called. The glow, I think is what it's called. The glow, and he has to fight.
right.
He has to fight the bad guy who has also developed the glow, but his glow is red and Barry's glow is blue, I believe. And it's fucking
yellow?
awesome.
Just,
Might be yellow.
just because of my love for these type of movies, did you ever watch No Retreat, No Surrender when you were a kid?
Fuck yeah, I did.
The,
The one movie where Jean-Claude Van Damme was the bad guy?
Jean-Claude Van Damme was the villain, yes.
Great movie. Also, Best of the Best would make an awesome series.
I will watch that movie right now.
Actually, Best of the Best is the fucking answer.
Oh.
The story of a fucking U.S. Olympic karate team trying to
Spoilers,
take over the
they
Koreans.
lose, and
The
it's the
Taekwondo
best
team.
loss ever.
Yeah, they fucking lose, and it's great.
Spoilers.
I said
Tim was gonna
spoilers.
watch it.
You're gonna
Do
go
you
back and
have
watch
more
the
for
Eric
Evan?
Roberts classic?
Yeah, I do, but it's in a different vein. Kind
Hit
of.
me.
Same idea. I don't know if you guys know this. I've kept it under wraps. I haven't made a big deal about
Ghostbusters,
it.
isn't it?
I'm the star of the Ghostbusters World, video coming up here eventually. I went down to Sony Studios. I shot it there.
I
did
saw the
this great-
commercial. How many tries? How
It's
many
no
takes
big
was
deal.
that?
I crushed it.
Really?
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
lie
Yeah,
to me.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
lie to me.
It wasn't that
Very
many takes,
professional.
honestly. Yeah, it was mainly in front of the Ecto one where I couldn't see my mark and I kept not getting centered enough. They had to reshoot that.
Oh,
one
I
a
want
bunch.
all that
Oh,
footage.
using Hollywood
Yeah.
talk.
Can you get all
Your
the footage
mark.
of you just walking just barely past the mark? We'll do a cut.
Was
like
there one of you
CRF.
tripping over Ecto 1 just so
No,
you could
I
touch
never
it?
tripped, no.
Just so you could like,
My
oh,
favorite thing,
Ecto.
I mean, this should probably be a topic one day to itself, of me going out and doing this Ghostbusters shoot. But they, at one point, were like, all right, cool, like, we want to shoot. And they were trying to do all these different things for,
We should do that when it comes out. We'll do like a rewind on it. You
Very
can tell us
smart.
all the stuff.
Here's the one story I'll give you, though, is that when I was eventually the scene that would become me walking in front of the Ecto 1 and delivering a bunch of lines or whatever, they wanted to shoot it from a different angle. And finally, I was like, well, like, I've done this thing where I'm like walking along the car. Why not just finish there? And like, oh, that's a great idea. And it was one of those things of like me taking off the proton pack or have the proton pack resting. And everyone there very respectful of the Ghostbusters franchise, but there was me and one gentleman from the Southland Ghostbusters, and like the fucking official.
These guys are like
awesome.
the legit ones, right?
A lot of the stuff I'm wearing in it is his stuff. When I
Like
came out in my stuff, and he's like, "Cool, do you want the real elbow pads, the real belt?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Like if this was a motorcycle
yeah.
gang, these guys would be the Hell's Angels.
Yeah, exactly. And so like,
Minus all the fucking
eventually,
racism and horrible shit.
yeah, they don't beat people with pool cues and kill people at Rolling Stones concerts.
Right, fair point.
But
That you know of.
Exactly.
Allegedly. Because if they did, that would be proton pack.
Fucking-
Neutrino 1 right at the nose.
It's the Rolling Stones at AT&T Park, and the Ghostbusters are out front killing people.
What a fucking weird story. That's true, right? They actually hired Hell's
There's an
Angels.
awesome documentary about
one
that.
was it?
What's it called?
recommended
Altamont? Like I think it's like
Altman.
Altamont.
Altamont. Kevin, Google that with Rolling
Altamont?
Stones documentary.
It's
You'll find
Altamont
it
for sure.
Okay. Well, no, I
Yeah.
mean, but I don't remember the title. I think it might be like What Happened, Altamont? Doesn't matter. Kevin, look into that. Let me know. Walked in front of the Ecto 1. Oh, that's a great idea. We should do it there. And then it was this thing of like, oh, we'll have the proton pack off because you're tired. You're delivering this whole thing about how you're tired. I'm like, great. And they were like, what if we put the proton pack on top of the hood of the Ecto 1? And everybody started to consider it. And me and the other guy were like, no. We can't. It'll scratch. We can't. We were the only ones in that moment like looking out for the safety of the Ecto 1.
Yeah.
I thought that was real
Because
funny.
it's history, man. And you
Here's
did the right
the
thing.
conversation I was having with somebody over that, the past week about that. What an amazing experience it was, how mind-blowing it was for me. Do you think, and stick with me, this isn't just what died at also? Give Me Shelter. That is it. Give Me Shelter. Watch the classic documentary of the Rolling Stones. Thank you. Give Me Shelter. For your topic, do you think there's a way to do a Ghostbusters, we'll say YouTube show, but I was really going to say anything, right?
Yeah.
In a way that gets people in and excited and ready for the property. Because here's what I was talking about with somebody else, right? In that Ghostbusters 1, I think is a perfect movie. I think there's rare. Back to the Future is a perfect movie in terms of like, holy shit, like this is beat for beat and I'm done and I'm gone and great. Ghostbusters, I feel that way. I'm sure there's plenty of things people would pick apart. But then Ghostbusters 2.
Come at me. You know what I mean?
Ghostbusters 2, the rebooted, what is it, 2016
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
Flawed.
The Ghostbuster IDW comics, right? Like, all of these are cool that they exist in whatever. People take and choose what they want. But me, being a comic book fan, being a huge Ghostbusters fan, right? I've picked up an IDW comic here and there and read a little bit of it, but I've never been sucked in because I just feel like. Good job. I mean, the neutron one would hold me and then you throw out the trap or whatever.
Sorry.
I've never really felt like I needed more, if that makes sense, right? Like
Yeah.
as a kid, I remember I called into Fox Thing in the morning, the Chicago Morning News, and I got to talk to Harold Ramis on the phone, on live TV, of like, when are you making a Ghostbusters 3? And it was because I'm a kid, I want more Ghostbusters,
Yes.
obviously. But now as a person, I'm just like, that is such a great snapshot and such a great story that I really don't sit there going like, man, whatever happened to Venkman? And did they ever franchise?
Yeah.
And did they ever do
But
that?
is the knowing okay? Not knowing sometimes is what makes it better, because whenever a lot of times when you have these sequels, people says, "Oh, we need the sequel," but it ruins the story because the standalone was perfect. You're not knowing is what made it great because
Yeah.
you filled in all the blanks. But when they start filling in the blanks, you start getting Last Jedi, and people don't want that. So
yeah.
We have a rule we're not allowed to talk about
Because
me
you-
and Kevin get ramped up too much about
I
Last
have
Jedi.
two
We're not,
things to say.
We're not allowed to
Oh,
do
here
it.
we
It
go.
was bad.
no, it's not that it was bad, and it's 3-star movie out of 5. It's in my opinion. That's just mine.
It's not a bad opinion.
No, did you want to say those two
Actually,
things now?
No, there are two things. It bleeds quasi into my topic about writing, and which is if you're writing something, you spend all day, you write, kind of come up with great ideas. But sometimes you watch a product, like you guys, I've seen you many times on your shows, will say, I didn't like that effect, I like that shot, because you've worked in lighting, you work in production. You'll see things that I don't see. Like you're
Sirens are on our end.
when you're talking about in Thor Ragnarok,
for
you're
you,
saying that
Bill.
scene of Norway, it was so bad. It looked fine to me,
Bill,
but I don't
run.
work in production. I don't see what you see.
Right.
But when you're writing something, you look at The Last Jedi. Imagine if they had taken Rose and Finn's character and swapped them. Think of it this way: he came off his arc of being this. I'm stammering. I don't know what I'm doing. He's like Hugh Grant running around like an idiot.
Oh, you had me there. I love Hugh Grant.
Oh, but But come that movie, he just repeats the exact same process, and she is steadfast and steady the entire time, thinking of her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if she was the nervous one? He was the one who's like, no, I got you. I can guide you through this, and they just the exact same arc, the exact same way.
That would make
I
way
think,
more sense. Way
I
more
think
sense.
they
Thank you
didn't
so much,
want to
Kevin.
do that for a lot of political and social reasons that we won't go into right now. But I think it's a very good perspective.
Oh.
See, Kevin,
I feel like I just got a gold star for the day.
I can
I don't
mature.
understand.
Back to
why
Ghostbusters,
they
though.
reverted
Sorry.
his
Bum,
character.
bum,
The question I have for you is,
Yeah.
to answer your question with a question.
Sure.
How much of Ghostbusters was the cast versus the idea?
I think cast is a huge part of it.
That's the problem.
And that's
right?
the
I
thing.
think that's
is
what we
like-
learned with the newest one is that the cast of the newest one's great. The dynamics not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You didn't have 4 people that necessarily came up together and had worked together in this pressure cooker of Second City first,
Yep.
then Lampoons, then Saturday Night Live, then a couple movies before that, and then boom, they had this language that was already all to their own. They already learned it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the second one suffers from the same problem the third one suffers from, which is that too much time had gone through, the relationships had started to sever at that point, and we just weren't getting those character dynamics anymore. Like we
Yeah.
weren't getting that interplay between each other anymore. Having said that, yeah, I absolutely, I think you can make something good at anything. I
Sure.
think Cobra Kai really opened my eyes. I was like, this is gonna fucking suck, and they just found an angle for it that fit with the production and had a lot of heart.
I'm
and
not
made
saying
sense.
it's impossible. I'm just saying it was an interesting thing. I think I was out with Scott Lowe, and I was talking to him about it. It was an interesting moment for me to realize, man, I got a Superman story, I got a Superman video game, I got a Spider-Man comic, I got all this stuff that I can think of for all these characters. And if somebody was to come to me and be like, hey, Greg, blank check to create a Ghostbusters property of your choosing, I'd be like, it's their French, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
French?
Franchise is where
Oh,
that goes.
okay.
You know what I mean? Of just like,
Jen is
No,
just
he
been
said French.
turning you.
bonjour!
In a weird turn
Now,
of
what would
events,
Canadian Ghostbusters be like?
they
Now,
decided
there's your
to just
premise.
shoot an entire Ghostbusters movie in French for no reason.
But it's just that thing of like, yeah, like I told you this joke that I'm gonna butcher now for sure.
Sure.
But remember how I was brought up to you a while back, something I ran into on Reddit or somewhere of just like, it was a film, is a real story apparently from somebody I read on the internet that I don't remember at all, but of like a film studies course, and they were
Welcome to my
explaining
world.
3-act structure and character growth, and this is how stories are told on screen. And the guy gave the whole presentation. He's like, but except for Ghostbusters, and the class was totally quiet. And he's like, oh, you guys have never noticed? Ghostbusters is about nothing. Like, there's no character development. No, there's no hero's journey. They just do this thing, and at the end, they're the same people they were at the beginning of it. They kind of fall ass backwards into saving the world.
that's a good point.
It's not their goal. Their goal is to make a buck and do all this stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just like that. And it's like, huh? And I don't know if that's part of it. Of just like, granted, I thought, as a kid, Real Ghostbusters was a fun cartoon. As a teenager crying watching Extreme Ghostbusters, I thought that was a good. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't think a freak of the week style show of like, well, it's fucking Sam Hain we got to take down now. He's a Pumpkinhead ghost from.
That was a good
Real
episode.
Ghostbusters.
Written by Straczynski.
Oh, he was terrifying. Of course, Sam. Yeah,
He also did Cthulhu in there all the time.
yeah, exactly.
Great
There's a
cartoons.
bunch of different shit you can do with it that's interesting in terms of there's the ghost, but in terms of a dynamic of we're bros and it's brotherhood, and I don't have an idea of where I would spin it out and be like, this is what I would do with Ghostbusters.
Well, I think fundamentally it has to be an origin story because I think that was also a lot of the power of the first Ghostbusters was it was an origin story. We'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
And we all know that the second one's it's an uphill battle to make the second in any movie series like that good because there's an excitement in discovery. There's an excitement going, oh shit, ghosts are real and we actually have to develop all this cool tech and we have to figure out what's going on and like, are we gonna win this thing? This is like a seemingly insurmountable goal, right? Second one, you're like, well, we just fought Zool and now Vigo, like that doesn't seem like he's that much more tough than Zool and we fucked Zool up.
well, Zool's the minion of Gozer. Gozer is really who they fought, but yeah.
I'm sorry, goes to the Gozerian.
Yeah.
Good evening. You know what I mean? Like, but so yeah, it's tough. But I think they could do it. I think you could bring a new.
I
like,
definitely
similar to
think
how-
someone could. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all.
Right.
I just find it interesting that as a guy who owns the Proton Pack and all the stuff and loves dressing up as a Ghostbuster and can't wait for Ghostbusters World, the video game. They're not paying me to say that. The game actually seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll talk about it on Gamescast. Remind me. I just find it interesting that I'm not like, here's what I would do. Here's what I would make them do. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting the idea of like, you know, for one of the many Ghostbusters 3 ideas you ever heard kicked out, right? Of like Venkman's dead and now he's like the Slimer character. And it's like that's actually kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Of like having the guy from Monty Python, whose name I can never remember,
Cleese.
who's Headless Nick in Harry Potter. I always thought that was a cool thing. You know what I mean? Of like having that float around. Like that'd be something fun to toy
This
with.
character's really sad too when you learn more about him.
I don't read the book, so I just get to, you know, see him in the thing and be happy with it.
I got a super off the wall one that's
Give it
not
to
going to
me.
be a popular opinion.
Correct.
Pokemon.
Super Mario Brothers the movie.
Oh yeah.
Turn that thing into,
You could do
into
it.
a fucking series. Now here's the thing. That movie, is it trash?
Do we have to get
absolutely?
Bob Hoskins passed, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Yes,
did.
he did.
But
He's still
well,
John
Leguizamo
but that's the
still
thing.
alive.
John Leguizamo, the star of that movie.
I'll tell you one thing right now. Every Italian named Mario has a cousin Mario. Just bring him back in. Everyone, I got a cousin. I got like 4 cousin Marios.
But
just
what's-
keep cycling them in.
The thing is, I brought this up on the morning show a couple months ago, but I watched this like behind the scenes documentary that people made of the making of Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah,
the
you said
movie.
this is awesome, right?
It's super fascinating and super fucked up. It went through like 5 different directors and like there's some real fucked
Wait,
up
where's this?
stories.
I wanna watch this.
I saw it on YouTube, and it's
Shit.
like it has a bunch of behind the scenes interviews with people. The script wasn't done as they were shooting,
That sounds
and
about right.
it got like totally rewritten multiple
You're
times.
kidding me.
As they're going, but there was certain things that they're like, we know we want to do this, and like when you look at especially a lot of the production design stuff, like that movie has a fucking cool look and vibe to it, and the city they create, like what the Mushroom Kingdom is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nothing like Super
It's
Mario
dark as
Brothers.
shit.
Probably
twisted.
shouldn't be Mario, but it's like it is really
Well,
a
it
dark,
was-
gritty
it was-
take on Mario. But
Wasn't the thing that like there was someone who was trying to make a movie and they couldn't get the movie, then they got Mario and they just made it.
no, it's not that.
No?
Like
What's that
they
movie?
decided
That's called Cloverfield,
to
and they've done that?
to make the shit for Mario, but like the cars with the
89,
electric things like buses have and all that shit, just like the look that movie had with the fungus everywhere,
Yeah.
and like all the people being turned into the toads that were like all weird looking. I just think that there was a lot there in that world that could be cool, and I feel like if people that wanted to make that good in 2018 put their minds to it,
What year is it?
They can make a dope ass fucking world out of it.
This was
93.
1993.
Yeah,
You know what's
93 movie.
fucking hilarious? And this is how bad a video game. This is how bad of a video game fan that I am.
Oh god, here we go.
I just fought back to when I was trying to make a joke about how we should say Mario's last name is Scarpino so he could be one of my friends. And you guys were like, no, his last name is Mario. Which makes way more sense now because they're the Mario brothers.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah, his name's Mario.
Didn't
But
that,
that
that
came
literally
from this
never
movie.
occurred to me.
because it's not real.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel too stupid. then.
They've retconned that. They
Yeah, I
said
always
publicly
thought that.
because
that.
that literally was just from this movie that they.
Yeah, but then why do they call it the Mario Bros in the original video game?
Nobody thinks about these toys at the time. They make a lot of different goofy ass toy shit for kids. Nobody's thinking about
Pull it up, Kev.
70 years from
Which
now
one
when
is it?
everybody's religion's based on it.
Just pull this up. The gaming historian one is the one that I watched, and then I watched the making of Super Mario Brothers, which is on a bunch of like the DVDs and whatever.
Okay.
But it's super interesting shit, and yeah, like Bob Hoskins
Thanks,
did
baby.
not want to be there at all.
They were drunk for a lot of it, right?
sad for Bob
Yeah, like the
Hoskins.
directors were just super drunk, causing a lot of shit. There was a lot of
No,
harassment
Bob
going on.
and John Leguizamo were like wasted for a bunch of
I
it.
would be.
They were just
But
drinking
I'm unprofessional.
heavily.
Anyway, I think that there's something there because the taking Luigi and giving him Daisy and not focusing on Toadstool and Peach and all that stuff. Like, there was a lot of cool, interesting calls they made there that I feel like they can turn into something that's good, even though the original thing was really fucking bad.
I think you could do it. I'm
Do it.
rethinking all of the streaming stuff. Sorry. But
No, I was saying
if you
do
were
it. I was backing you up. You said,
Gotcha.
I think you can do it. I want to do it.
But I didn't know if that was one of those moments where I'm like, Greg's waiting to segue to the next thing and I'm biting his line.
No,
or,
keep doing it. I mean, like when you call it out, I'm definitely not going to do it now. You know, what else do you have to say about it? You know what I
what
mean?
we're going to do? We're going to sit in silence.
So how you doing, man?
Good.
Gibby, that's not how it works.
Fantastic.
If we say
Oh,
we're
sorry.
sitting,
All
if the
right,
champ,
my
champ says we're
mistake.
sitting in silence, we're sitting in
He
silence.
is the champ. I saw
And
it
now
happen.
we're going to break the silence.
Gibby,
Yes, sir.
you paid a lot of money to come here. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
You said it. You said it lived up to it. You said it lived up to it so far. You can't take it back. What's your topic?
Greg, my topic is writing.
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 Would it be because you wrote all these books?
I'll get there. Let me tell you a story.
I apologize.
No. All right, no,
Hide the
God.
books.
Okay. No. It's fine.
They're hidden.
So, 20 years. I was in the Air Force. 20
Thank you for your service.
No. But thank you. I know. I did it I did it for my reasons, and I love people and just want to take care of them. Anyway.
Sure.
So, 20 years in the Air Force, and all my life I've been a little bit of a writer. You write a little here, you write a little there.
Sure.
You know, you want to write comic books, you want to write movies, you want to write books. You know, because these are the things you consume. But every time I tried, really bad. You're just really not good.
This is
at-
terrible.
It's like you read it back to yourself and like, wow, I'm a fucking child, and throw it over your shoulder because like that is no one would read this, no one would like it, but you don't stop because you have the bug, you have that itch.
Yeah.
You know, you got to fucking do it. So and also I'm a really bad speller. You went to journalism school?
God.
God.
I mean,
How's
I'm
that?
only good because of word and spell check. So
I got the little red squiggle. Tells me
Oh,
everything I
yeah.
need to know.
Oh, yeah,
And my
yeah.
wife,
my best
Valerie,
friend.
I love you. Valerie, yeah. Shout out to Val.
Shout out to Val.
Val is
Val.
she has her master's and she is my first line editor. She's like, well, you're getting better. I'll pat you on the head, kind of
At
thing.
least you're better than Nick.
So okay, who remembers that movie Shakespeare
That's
in
spelling.
Love?
I remember Shakespeare in Love. Nick, you remember Shakespeare in Love?
Yeah.
All right,
What's his name? Not Ray Fiennes, his brother.
Joseph.
Joseph Fiennes.
Joseph Fiennes.
Who's in The Handmaid's Tale? And
Yeah,
it's like
really
super
good.
disturbing.
Shout out to Hulu. I've been loving that more and more.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my point is, in that movie, there's specific scenes where he's walking around. There's like all these lines here, that are like from all his famous plays, right? And I guess that's what a writer needs to have. You need to have the experience. You need to have the things. I was not one of those wunderkind who could like learn to write at an early age. Because what experience did I have? I was an only child who was a dork and was chubby. So I needed to go
Hey,
out.
it's
Yeah. Hey, friends
can
out there,
relate.
who's been that?
Who can relate?
Exactly. But it's like you've ever been picked on, you've ever been bullied, you ever stood up for yourself, you ever tried something new, and you put yourself out there to do these things. And as you're doing that, you're living life. You're gaining that experience. You are just being an adult or just something special. So long story short, that's when I got back into writing. So, and any writer would say, you take a moment when you get to a point where you're like, I don't know what to write next. Take something personal from your life.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
something very personal from
Right,
your
true,
life.
right.
Write what you know. Like I haven't been to San Francisco in 20 years. I couldn't write about San Francisco because I have Google Maps, but I don't know the place. I don't know the things.
Yeah.
So you have to write what you know or make it up. So exactly.
I think of a weird line.
Yeah.
You brought this up recently. Someone here watched the movie Zodiac. Was that you? That was you, right?
yeah.
There's a very
That was me,
interesting
if you're an audio
line
listener.
of in that movie where
Great movie, by the way. I can't believe it slipped by me.
where they're reading the notes of the Zodiac and how he's talking about the city, and they're like, one of the things we can profile based on is, does he at least have a cursory knowledge of the city? Like, how much of the city does he know? And they can infer from that, is he a local or is he someone that lives in the East Bay or is he someone that, you know what I mean? Like if Tim writes about San Francisco, it's going to be a lot different than if you write about it because Tim knows all the small nooks and crannies of places that, like we went to a place the other day for his topic, which we may or may not get to, but we should on a show.
We're getting to it. We're fucking getting to it.
I've literally never been. I've never seen that place before, and it's this amazing, cool space. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I do love that concept of like when. Like really writing what you know, and like I think about that in terms of like if I would write something about San Francisco, could I pull it off? And I think I could.
All right.
You've been here long enough. You put it in the marina,
years.
right? That's how
Well,
it'd
the
be.
marina or Soma or downtown. Like I experience parts of the city that I think a lot of people don't. Like I experience what the financial district's like on a Sunday night when I go to a Punchline.
Yeah.
You know, and how there's certain parts of the city I know if I go there, it's going to be a ghost town.
Sure.
And the financial
Closed
district
as
is
fuck.
just there.
Starbucks
Soma,
closed at 6 p.m.
There's
Like,
one
what the
Starbucks
hell?
that's still open in the financial district, but there's one across the street from it that's not.
So
and it's
sad.
hilarious. Like that one stays open until 9, that one closes at like 6. And it's just pure economics. But it's those small things like that I think you can bring to storytelling that really opens up the world for the reader.
Oh, 100%. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to pepper in the certain things, like the little nuances, like what a person's thinking, what are they smelling, what are they doing. But also, when in doubt, make up a world. So, and that helps you out because you take the grandfather of all fantasy. You're gonna have Tolkien. He made up this
Harry
world.
Potter, right.
Yeah, 100%. Grandfather, yes. But that's another point. I have this. That's urban fantasy in a nutshell. I took this world. What's right beside it? What is this magical world that lives right next to this world? And people eat that up, and it's a fun time.
Well, yeah, it's interesting to say which one do you think is more challenging? And I know the answer is Tolkien, but it's an interesting exercise of is it harder to make an entire world up with all lore your own, or is it harder to say I'm going to tell you a story that's a believable fantasy world where wizards exist in our world? Does that make sense?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's you actually ping on a good question. That's the writer's mind, which is, are you the kind of person that can just spit something out, or do you get two sentences where did that person come from? What is their name?
Yeah.
What is nocturnally? Oh, diagonally. You have to play with those things in your head. You have to know your world, because if you don't, the reader's not going to believe it, and it comes across as false.
See, this is one of the things I've struggled with this year. Is that I started this year with my New Year's resolution to write in the comic book, right? The Superman comic book.
I have a Batman one to write really bad.
Fucking just start doing it, dude.
They
but
won't
the
let me.
problem is that once
Cease and desist.
Oh well, I know. Mine's not DC approved. Once I started doing the Superman thing, it was the spigot was turned on, and I was like, man, what about this? What about that? What about this? And I started having conversations with a whole bunch of people we'd be interested in your original ideas. And I'm like, oh fuck. And so I started trying to build story Bibles and stuff like that, and it really quickly became so overwhelming of wow, with a Superman story or a Spider-Man story, here are the toys, here is the setting, and I just make whatever I want happen.
Or you have
but when
lore
it's
to pull
from the fucking ground up of what it is and who this is and what is his relation to that person, where do
but
they
you
go
can
to?
drown yourself in your own and your own backstory if you don't actually just set forth and do it. And that's when hey fans, I had to start writing, and I had to start doing. That's my latest one. And
She Dreams of Fire.
She Dreams of Fire. Oh, you gonna read it?
Well, I don't want to screw it up because I'm bad at stuff. Agatha Aggie Gray.
Yep.
Okay. Was only 10 years old the night a witch of the Umbra Coven, I don't want to screw up that word, killed her mother and burned her home. Injured, she received a transfusion of blood tainted by witchcraft, and immediately her eyes were open to the truths hidden from mundane eyes. She saw a new world, a hidden world, one filled with darkness and secrets. And that new world was now aware of her. So wait, are these all in the same universe, or are they all different?
These are three different series that I've started. This
Villains
series,
Rule.
2 each.
no, this is 3 books into that series, 2 books into that series, and 1 into that one.
How long does it take you to write a book?
A few months.
Jeez Louise.
I have.
like
Well, my
not
first.
that
Okay,
long.
so here's a funny story. You might know this guy because his name's Gary Whitta.
I've heard of Gary Whitta.
You've heard of Gary Whitta.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Governor,
that
me Gary Whitta. I'm
sounds
not going to come
exactly
to work for a long
like him.
time.
So in 2015, he was on your show when I was watching, and he was talking about a book he wrote called Abomination.
Right.
Well, I got off my ass and I bought that book. Now, I've been working on my books, trying to get myself published. But when I brought a copy of Abomination because I bought it after seeing him on this show, in the hopes that he could sign it for me. He was not here, and it's all right. Oh no,
I'm working on it.
All right, fair
I
enough.
was going to say, we have a copy. We'll get him to sign it next time.
Yeah, no, I have my copy right there. Just
Okay,
mail
cool.
it back to me. I'll give you
Yeah,
cash.
just let us know.
I'll give you cash.
He'll totally
But
do
the
it.
point is, you hear these people, you read their stories, and I want to do that, but I want to do my version kind of thing. So, and Gary Wood was a huge influence. Look at the Book of Eli. You look at what he did for Rogue One, and then just in the novel Abomination, I have met tons of great writers, but one of the funny ones there's this book I read called Confessions of a D-List Supervillain. It's about a guy who he is a schmuck who made up a set of power armor, and he wants to be a hero, but now he ended up becoming a villain instead. And he reluctantly becomes the hero. And this author named Jim Bernheimer wrote the book. I liked it. I messaged him. He's pretty cool. I write my own book. I'm trying to get out there. I get picked up by a publishing studio after a few months. Hey, this is great. And then they let me go. Get picked up by another one. I get let go. Like, motherfucker. and then this other author who I met along the way, because you just meet people in the business, his name's Charles Phipps. Shout out to Charles. He says, I'd like to introduce you to Jim Bernheimer. He's been publishing my work. I'm like, that's the guy's book I read. And he says he has a small publishing house out of Norfolk, Virginia called Amber Cove. He takes care of small authors. He's like, I'll give you a shot when no one else will. And he's been nothing but great to me.
That's
and
awesome.
Clearly it's working out for him.
well,
Because you got 18 books.
Oh, he's helped publish about 30, 35 books by this point. And his goal is to get up to 50, and if not more, because no one gave him a shot, and he had to make his own publishing company house. And he's been helping out guys like me. Like, I like your story. Let's see what you can do with it.
When did you what's the timeline on all of these?
Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. One of these books, I started writing the 2012. I started playing with the idea. 2012, I started playing with the idea. Didn't like it. Rewrote it. And then right around 2015, I started getting off my ass and started doing something about it. Again, after I read Abomination by Mr. Witta, and then I got picked up by a company, then let go, back and forth. So I've been professionally, like I've been published since what, 2016. So March 2016.
2016 to now, these 6 books went from not existing to existing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what is that like though to get the first? They send you a box of them, I assume.
Yeah. So I mean, the modern indie publishing is kind of like most of these are made to order. Like you get 10 free copies from the publishing house or whatever's in your contract, but there's not a warehouse of these sitting around. When you buy them, they print them on it's through a create space through Amazon. Most of your money's made through ebooks and audiobooks and like that. Shout out to Jeffrey Kafer, you're awesome. But
Who's
he is a phenomenal audiobook narrator who sounds a lot like Wolverine, like the Stephen Bloom Wolverine from back in the day. He's got an amazing voice. You ever watch Morph? Now do that with Murph from Interstellar and just play that back and forth. Murph and more.
Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so writing's been just a passion of mine. But like, I want to write a movie one day. I want to write a comic book one day. I want to write something else one day. But
so how are you? Like, I mean, I know your topic's about writing, but it's fascinating to be somebody who's publishing a book or making books. Like, how are you? Or is it all Groundswell Movement? It's on Amazon. You said.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can find me, MK Gibson. I'm on there. So
okay. And like, so are you? Like, how, I don't even know. How do you, as an independent author, go about promoting a book?
Okay, so Facebook.
Okay.
You pay for ads. You go to conventions. I did RavenCon the last couple of years. Now, as you guys have met me today, I don't exactly look like a happy person.
No, you're smiling.
That's, I'm smiling.
Show him rest in bitch face. Yeah, no, I would not fuck with this guy.
No, and that's the thing is like, so when
bullshit.
Like, let's say you're walking around a convention, you're walking on a Comic-Con or one of the smaller ones, and you see a table, people sitting out some books, and you're trying like hell to like, you feel like a puppy to pound that no one wants.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I would say, fuck off. Hey, and it starts off with word of mouth. You start with your friends, and then your friends of friends, and then you start getting a few fans here and there, but you. Like anything, you just beg and come in here.
Sure, it is just like pound the pavement.
You have
talk
to.
to people.
That's the only way to do it.
So how big would you say your fan base is at this point?
Oh shit, I don't know. Honestly, that's just it. I've
Have you seen a different fan base for the different series going on? And like,
it depends on the one.
You jump from
like
one to
actually,
the
the
other?
villains books people like the most because it's written about an asshole. It's flat out. I wrote a story about a jerk who makes other villains from other worlds better. In one world, he goes into a fantasy world. In the next world, he goes into the comic book universe. You'd like that one.
Oh, shit. Which one's
that? Villains Pride.
Okay.
You could read it just by itself if you wanted to.
I'm on it.
Yeah, it is just comic tropes and how to make comic villains better.
So he goes in there and makes them better villains.
He tries to.
Okay.
Yeah, like the whole point is like in book 1, he gets double crossed and he gets stuck in a fantasy realm. In book 2, it's like his baby mama kicks him out of his pocket dimension and he gets stuck in a comic book universe.
I had a nickel.
Baby mama? I've been there.
Forget.
No,
I think for
Valerie,
with the baby's mama or getting stuck in a comic dimension.
Getting stuck in a baby mama.
But the thing is, like sometimes you get
Okay.
sometimes you get a dumb idea in your head, and then you have to jot it down.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm reading the back of your.
No, please do. But the point is,
Villains Prime.
like you were talking before, like you were talking about like your Superman story you talked
Sure.
about, like, and that's the point.
Which it's been way harder than that.
But it's not just writing like these, like that's nice. But like Nick's talked before about like you want to write movies, and like you get these bugs in your head, like how do you. When do you make time to do it? Do you still do it?
Yeah, I still do. I write not as often as far as screenplays because I write a lot of jokes now.
Sure.
And that was one of the things that for me was
Y'all got
just
jokes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did.
It's fair. One of the
Jr.
habits that I've been trying to form is getting the product out there more, getting the joke out there, getting the writing out there more. And I think the biggest thing that I suffer from is that I do sit there night after night in a room by myself and think, is this good? Is this bad? You get lost in it, right?
Right.
Especially with something like screenplay, where I'm a format nut. Like I love, not format, excuse me. I'm a structure nut. So I love screenplays that are clever, that wrap themselves up nicely, where everything's tied up and everything's gratifying, because I think that's the best kind of movie.
Right.
And so I spend hours, everything I write, in just the beat outline stage, because my thought process is like, there's a number of ways to skin the cat. One of which is just start writing, right? A lot of people just say start writing, have a rough outline for what you want to do, start writing, get through the first draft no matter what, put it aside for
crap
a month or whatever,
right on it,
come back to it, it's shit, but then you can start to refine from there. I don't like that. I don't like not knowing where I'm going. I like the idea, like my brain likes to work in slightly more analytical terms, where I like to be like, I like to see where I'm at the beginning, know where I'm at the end, and then flesh everything out in the middle. So if I can look at it, like my theory is if I can run a compelling like 5 to 6 page beat outline that I give to you and you go, wow, this is a cool story, then the actual writing of the screenplay is going to be a lot easier and it's going to be a lot more efficient and effective that way. Because I've written screenplays before, I'm like, 120 pages, great. Then I have to rewrite the whole thing, and that's a year later. And then I have to rewrite the whole thing, and I'm like, this is never going to see the light of day because it's still shit because my foundation was never very good.
When I try to be meticulous about what I was writing, like I'll build my world first, and then I'll try to build my character, and then I never got written because everything felt so clean, felt so clinical, felt too analytical. And then when I tried the shotgun approach, oh man, then it's just all over the place. You don't know what you're doing. So what I decided to do is like I get point A, B, C, and D. And I know what these major points are, but then just start writing, get to know your characters, because then you get to a certain thing where like, doesn't it feel better to go this way? Doesn't it feel better to go this way? Like if you're watching, if you're visual, if you're watching it happen in your head, then you can help write organically. So mix the two, I recommend. Just
no, and that's really, I think that's probably the best process, right? Is that at some point you have to shit or get off the pot.
100%.
At some point you do have to put pen to paper, or metaphorically, I guess, finger to keyboard, and start writing.
Keyboard.
And to me, that's where I kind of started getting lost in the process, because we started doing, as Kind of Funny started ramping up, and as I started really just enjoying my role here, the gratification that I needed outside needed to be really instant and really good. Like it needed to be, for me, like it had to come at a more rapid pace for me to justify going out there night after night. If not, why don't I just come here and invest more time here at night and make stuff for this, because this is an already fully
This is
formed
your business.
thing. Yeah, it's my business.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's an extreme privilege to be able to get to do this in general. So for me, that's why I think I gravitated a little more toward comedy, because like I am now to a point where I can write a joke and go up to a mic and do the joke and have it get laughs, and that's very gratifying. Like I don't have to necessarily refine stuff. Like every once in a while I'll tweak stuff, but every joke I write, I'll look at the paragraph. I'm like, I know this is gonna work. This is gonna work, and I'm good enough now, and the tool is sharp enough now that I don't have to worry about stumbling over it. I write the joke, I practice it once, I go out, maybe I muff the first time, the next mic it's solid, and that's really cool. It's really cool for a writer too, because you get to see your material actually how it affects people,
Right.
And that's super fun. But having said that, I do think that there's a lot of merit to sitting down and just chiseling away at that raw piece of marble until you get something that resembles a statue out of it. I think
The
that's
one
really
thing
cool.
I've come across was Quentin Tarantino once said like he likes to use legal pad and just his hand, and he likes his original draft of his screenplays. He likes to hand write them because he feels connected. I'm not that crazy, but what I will do is when I get to a brain fire like I'm doing right now, I just got the legal pad and I really just start writing to myself. I just start talking to myself, and the next thing I know, the question comes up. The answers just start appearing because you figure it out. Just like, don't force yourself to do it. Just allow it to happen.
It's one of those things where habits. I think for me, habits are an interesting thing, and I think they're very powerful. And if you train your brain and you train yourself to get in the habit of, the second you sit down, just the hardest part should be sitting down. Right. And that's always been the hardest part for me, is go do the thing. Like just that first step is the hardest thing. So if you can train yourself toward, once you've done that, then everything else is autopilot, then you're in a good place. And I feel like that's the same with me with jokes. I can't sit in a room and write jokes. I have to be going to or coming back from a gig, because then it gets that adrenaline going of like, you're going to fail, you're going to fail, you're going to fail. And then all of a sudden that process switches over to, oh, that's funny. That person's got a dog in a fucking kid carrier or whatever they call those.
Baby Bjorn.
Baby carriage.
Baby Bjorn.
I love it.
And I saw the other day, I write a joke about that. I'm like, this city, of course, people treat their dogs like their kids because they can afford to, right? Like this is, like all these things start going. But if I'm just
Also
sitting,
because we love them and they're very important to us, and they're frail as they get older.
well,
Have a kid, dude. You
take
want
them,
one.
throw them against the wall when they get older. That's what I say.
Fucking monster.
Babies or kids
Dogs.
or dogs?
He's talking about Portillo.
You know, but for screenwriting, for instance, I know that if I'm working on a longer document, if I'm working on something like that, like the way I have trained my brain to do is, I get the TV turns off, I get up. It's always at night, because that's when there's no distractions, and all I have to do is trick myself into opening up the laptop and opening up the document, and then I'll just start.
Is pouring the carrot on the stick that gets you to the laptop first?
No, pouring's my reward afterward.
Gotcha.
And before. And sometimes
During.
Maybe I can make a funny joke out of this. I couldn't, but I watched porn.
We'll figure it out.
Sauce and
Win-win.
porn. Yeah,
Win-win.
Everybody's happy.
So where are you at with your Superman?
Yeah, where's it at?
comic?
Well, if you'd be watching Greg's Comic Book Club, of course, a Patreon exclusive show for $1 on patreon.com/kindafunny. BTW, do you want to come back?
Do you want to come back?
Yeah, on Monday. We're recording the next one. I haven't, I have Chris Anka on the month after that.
Wait, it's on next Monday?
Yeah.
That might be hard.
Whatever. It's on the calendar.
Next Monday I'll be
it's
fine.
on the calendar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Normally I'm on 3 shows on Mondays.
Well,
4
maybe
sounds
it's
like a
time
lot.
to stop
can
being a
stop
crybaby.
But we're not doing
morning
morning
shows you
shows,
want.
so then I should be fine.
Yeah, there's no shows next week. It's anyways, where we're at with it, I have it Outlined is 5. I'd like to think I'm dialogue complete on 1. But the problem is that I've run into. So I've written out a whole bunch of stuff, obviously. Dialogue complete on 1. I'm pretty close, I think, on issue 2. But the 2 things this has happened before, right? Where I talked about it before. The genesis of Kinda Funny is GameOverGreggy YouTube channel, which came about when I was like, man, I really want to have something of my own. IGN's awesome and I love it, but I want to have something that's just me that I can decide what is and isn't content-wise. And I looked into comics then, and the problem was, man, comics are awesome and I love reading comics, but I just don't feel like I have the passion people who write comics have the passion for writing comics have. And so it slipped by and didn't become that. The children's book didn't become it, and then YouTube did, because it was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And so when I pitched it in January, New Year's resolution, right, it was what you're talking about, writing what you know, right? The whole thing starts in Vermont, the first Superman story, where we were when I thought it up and had the whole thing happen. And so it was great. And then it was also like, hey, it's kind of a slow time right now. I'm just writing in airports as I travel, doing gigs and all this stuff. This is great. And then I want to say Monster Hunter, but there might have been a game before that came around. It sounds goofy, but like it was like all of a sudden, nope, we're in the heat of the moment. Yep. Here's this, here's that, and it's that thing of like, oh, I want to play games to benefit our content, to go home and be able to talk about this and blah, blah, blah. And so then it is the thing of just like, fuck, it's been a long day of work. I want to have fun when I go home. Not that this isn't fun, but you know what it's like to go home and want to do the thing. Like today, but I think on this show or in the pre-show, I was like eye rolling that I have to watch Deadpool tonight because I was so stoked to go home and play video games. Not because Deadpool's a fucking amazing movie and I'm looking forward to watching it, but it's like,
I saw a tweet today that I thought, I don't know who did it, but it's some old phrase that's if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. It was all
crossed out, right?
And it was crossed out, and it said, if you love what you do, you'll have to kind of work all the time.
And it's true for what we do,
like,
right?
Wow,
And so where I am with the Superman comic is that we have a deadline for Greg's Comic Book Club. Well, not even, less than that now, right? On Monday's episode, I'm supposed to have the first draft of the first issue done.
Do you need the comic book commissioner to come in and make sure that you are adhering to the guidelines? Because as the president,
I'm
of the
afraid
Kinda Funny
that
World
might be you, so I'm
Championship,
going to say no.
I will happily throw my name into the hat.
I'd prefer if you stayed away. No.
comic
Oh, you
books.
corrupt motherfucker.
The committee.
You two corrupt motherfuckers.
I can get the other commissioner
Do it one more
to
time,
nominate
Nick.
me. The committee.
Thank you.
Well, that's the prince.
That's a prince.
No, okay.
Oh, the Prince of comic books. I'll take that too.
No, I don't need your help yet. You know what I mean? I want you to read it. And I
That's the
want your
Joker.
feedback.
I'd love to read it.
But
Like
the
I said when
problem
you
is,
first pitched
it's
it, I love being
but
involved.
so then it is like, okay, cool, it's script complete or word dialogue complete. But now it's that thing this is the thing where it's like, I feel like I've written a bunch, and not to like a professional thing. But I mean, like in terms of, I wrote skits in high school, and then in college I took screenwriting, and then this, that, and the other. And like at IGN, you write things, and you write scripts for just talking about video games and
Videos
stuff.
even.
I understand how that works. I understand how dialogue is. So when I sat down to write my comic, like that flowed, no problem, right? But now it's that thing of like, all right, cool. For the first time, describe to an artist how you want this to look.
Right.
And what I've had forever is in my backpack a blue notebook I bought from the coffee shop next door and a Sharpie, where I know that I need to sit down and go, all right, long box, this thing, 3/4 of the pit, you know what I mean? And I haven't done that, which is what I really feel is like the big hurdle in front of me. And rather than, back to me being in school and everything else, rather than fucking bite the bullet and do it, I keep putting it off. Till it'll be this weekend when I'm doing it, and I'll come in with a draft I'm not happy with on Monday.
You're ready. You'll feel the bug. It's like it has to get out of you. Like this idea has to be born. And
But the problem is so many people keep talking to me about other things, and I get other ideas and this, that, and the other, that I keep getting further and further away from the thing because I feel like these are opportunities that could go somewhere and be something cool. Right. And not that like making the Superman comic in general isn't cool, but actually seeing a comic book with me in it, or my name on it, I should say, is cooler.
right. But here's the thing: do you want to be a? I didn't mean to say. I apologize. Do you want to be a comic book writer, or do you want to make your one shot to like, this is my mark on the Superman mythos?
See, that's the big thing, and that's the big question right now. I feel like when it started, it was very much I want to make my mark on the Superman thing.
But that's the thing. Start there. Start with like, I want to leave my mark on the mythos. Do this one project. Say, damn it, that's me. I fucking did that, and no one can take that from me.
I would say the opposite, and here's why. I think you're putting too much importance on this. I think you might be looking at this as like your one shot to knock it out of the park. I think you just need to take a step back and be like, this is going to be what it's going to be. It's a fun, super gratifying process. And to speak to a point that you made earlier where you said, I don't have the passion to necessarily do this. I think passion only carries any artist so far. At a certain point, work ethic has to carry you the rest of the way. And you have work ethic.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I can't speak to you, but for me, a lot of the reasons why I haven't put creative stuff out there in the past is because I've always felt that it has to be perfect when it goes out.
Right.
And I think when you And to some projects do need to be that, but ultimately writing, I've noticed, and when you talk to a lot of writers, that the repetition and the quantity of how much you write is every bit as important as the quality, because the quality comes after quantity.
Right.
The more you write, the more it's just like
And see,
anything
this is
else.
where I get lost in my head about it. It's because what I do is I do very much what I did with the GameOverGreggy YouTube channel that becomes kind of funny, right? Is that,
Nailed
when
it.
we were at VidCon, crushed it. And I was like, I want to do this. I was like, you know what show I want to do? I want to do a chicken wing show where every time we go to PAX or we go to this event, we go to a chicken wing place in the area and I talk about it, right? And it was, right? Well, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to film. I don't know how to put a video on YouTube. So I'll make these other shows to make that show better.
Right.
And that show has still never ever happened. And so that
Well,
now
we'll get there one day.
I know, but now what I get
You
lost
gotta
in,
make this
We
fun.
can get
You gotta
there
do the
now.
Superman comment, man.
Well,
You gotta just do it because
that's why I like the deadline of like it's a New Year's
You
resolution.
gotta do it, man.
Yeah.
You got it, because it's like if you do any of the other opportunities or whatever comes up, then you're doing the thing to do the thing instead of it being
Doing
the
the
thing
thing.
that you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't need to reiterate how many times we get caught up in the stuff where it's like we don't have time to do the stuff that we quote unquote want to do because we do the stuff that we have to do, even though we want to do that as well. And it's
But
just
that's
like,
the
then you just
balance,
get stuck
right?
in the grind.
And you talk about Kind of Funny. Like I look at Kind of Funny as a business, and I think to myself, we are doing so many amazing things that I never thought we'd be doing. And it's because part of it is planning, but part of it's also just rolling with the
I know. You
punches
just got to go, right?
and
That's
being
what's
like,
awesome
"Fuck
about
it,
YouTube.
I'm just gonna get this done. And I think writing is the same way. Again, I've never put out anything professionally, so I don't know, but I do know that when you want to get something done,
series?
Yeah,
that's
no, it's
fair.
fucking
That's
awesome.
fair. And again, the animated series not exactly how I wanted it to go, not exactly the product that I wanted, but I stand by it. I think there's some phenomenal moments in that. I think we did a great job overall as a team. But I learned a lot on it, and I would not have learned, and I wouldn't be the person today if I hadn't gone through those trials and tribulations. But I do feel like with this, you have the awesome opportunity to no one is expecting to read this at any given time. So I would say
They are by the end of the year.
but get the draft out. Just get it out, get it done.
Yeah.
Because and again, remember,
I mean, what I really
perfect is the enemy of
the
good.
problem is, of course, the problem is that what I would love to do is cool. I'm gonna get a hotel room at SFO or whatever the fuck, and go there and have a computer and put it in airplane mode and just fucking. That's all I do is write. This isn't working for you.
Why go to an airport?
So no distractions.
No, sorry. He means just go. There's the old
She's in the same
writers
city as your wife, she's
concept
just gonna
of
come get
locking
you.
yourself
I know,
in a
right?
room.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
I've never heard that. Like people have to finish screenplays. So the two writers will go into a room, lock themselves in. So we can't come out till this is done. And they spent all weekend.
No, I understand that. Just why go to
Because
a
it's
hotel, not an airport?
mysterious, man.
No, go
Airports.
to a.
Hotel at SFO.
I'm saying I'm not gonna go to a fancy hotel downtown. Who the fuck cares? I'll go to
Shitty hotel.
a Brisbane
Why
hotel.
not just use
Okay,
the office
got it.
on
Now I get what you're
weekend?
saying.
Because you're gonna come in here. And go,
Kevin starts saying, "I've got cameras everywhere."
yeah, you
Who's
do have
in
cameras
here?
everywhere. Kevin, have you ever had sex in this office?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. See what I mean?
Was it right here?
I'll
guarantee
fucking
it
walk
was.
in here. Cool Greg's here with his Lucky Charms watching Rugrats.
Let's just put it this way: we've never had ham in this office, but lots of things smell like ham.
Fair enough.
So-
It was like, what's that movie? The
had
Vibes
him
with
in this
Go-
office.
Goldblum.
But again, it's also it's just like I want to get. But then it is the thing of we travel every weekend, so that's impossible. You know what I
And
mean?
it's
Like
also-
I'm here for this weekend and like that. Now, granted, I did already said there's a slim chance Jen might go to Montreal this weekend, and at which point we're just playing Fortnite all day at the house. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
nominating myself for this.
fuck yeah. What? What about
Kevin
Priscilla?
doesn't like playing with me.
Oh no, Nick.
No, he doesn't like me.
Well, think of it this way.
He's gonna come with his PS4 and be like, "Whoa."
No, I'll bring my Switch.
Okay, good.
I'll have to come back here and get it. I'll bring it.
Why don't you just take it on Friday?
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, I'll know by then.
You're saying lots of good stuff.
Also,
Smart
I
stuff.
can come get it if you forget.
Anyways,
it.
writing, no, it's tough. It's
Love
tough.
you, Kev.
I respect you so
Well,
much for being able to do
This is
this.
insane.
And this is your full-time job. This is all you do.
No, I have a.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What?
I have a real job as well,
Wow.
and it's
And you have a kid and you have a wife.
and a kid and a wife. So, for example, when I came into San Francisco, I was up at 4:30 this morning, and what was I doing? I was writing. Because I'm used to getting. I get up at 4 in the morning for my job, so I'm just used to getting up at 4 in the morning. And so when the wife and kid are asleep still, that's my time to either watch an R-rated movie, play a video game that's got violence, or sit down and write for 2 hours. Just turn on some music, pick up a coffee, knock out a chapter, or at least try to. And it's. And the worst part is like, you get good feedback. You get people that say, "Hey, I like this," because like my first book is like, I love Shane Black, for example. I love his work from the '80s and especially Lethal Weapon. I love Die Hard, don't get me wrong, but Lethal Weapon's just up a notch for me because of the because of the character dynamic. But it's sure there's action, but there's pathos behind these fucked up, damaged people, and that's the kind of people I want to write about. So when I'm writing my first books, I'm like, that's great, people like it. Then you get not a lot of girls in your stories. I'm like, oh shit, and it wasn't out of like disrespect. It just wasn't like didn't occur to me when I first started writing it.
That's one of the interesting things about screenwriting,
Especially in modern age.
is that there's like you brought up Lethal Weapon, right? But I think one of the interesting points is like when you write your characters, you don't necessarily have to flesh them out all the way because the actor is going to bring so much into that. So like writing a gender or writing a race, for instance, doesn't necessarily have to play into the screenplay on the first couple drafts. Most notably, you brought up Lethal Weapon, right? The character for Roger Murtaugh was not written as black.
Right.
That was pure casting. The person that there's a great documentary called Casted By, and she, the person who cast that movie, talked to Richard Donner and was like, you should really think about Danny Glover.
Yeah.
And Richard Donner was like, didn't occur to him to have that dynamic too. And then they ended up doing it.
But that's one of the things I've lived on ever since because of that particular set of movies, except for 3 wasn't that good.
How dare you, sir? That was Rene Russo's introduction.
Oh, I'm sorry. That made-for-TV movie with that said "fuck" a lot.
Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci was in 1, 2, and 2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4.
This was the one where they had the bad guy.
Everybody.
With the cop killer bullets, you know.
So fucking bad.
And there's a ponytail that Riggs had. No, it wasn't. 1 and 2, and
1
to a
and 2
degree
are phenomenal.
4.
4
But
is
the point
okay.
is, like,
Three's got great moments.
You put certain passions in, and like, you know, but since you said the actor brings the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But when you're diving into these characters, you bring your own depressions, the demons that you fought, you know, the ones that you had to fight off as a kid or as an adult. You bring your pain, you bring your suffering, you bring all this stuff because it's kind of like. I don't know a lot of happy comedians because every time you see them, they have to take that trauma and turn it into something a positive. Because every time you see a show about them behind the fact,
So
I bet you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm laughing because yes, I do ascribe to that notion. But I'm watching the latest season of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Sure.
And every time someone says that to Jerry Seinfeld, I love Jerry.
Well, he's
Seinfeld
rolling on $1 billion.
Well, he's also he bucks all of those like adages. Where everyone's like, he was talking to Alec Baldwin the other day. Alec Baldwin's like, I'm so lucky my wife puts up with me. And he goes, don't say that. Everybody puts up with everybody. He's like, your wife's no better off than you are. You got to put up with her. She's got to put up with you. And his thing that he always does is whenever a comedian says, well, you know, comedians are fundamentally broken. He's like, that's bullshit. He's like, I know plenty of happy comedians who are still doing their good art and they're still rich and they're living a good lives and they don't have demons anymore and all that stuff. I just think it's funny.
No, but what's your take on it? Do you think they are? Or?
No, I think everyone finds inspiration in different places.
Fair enough.
Like I think I'm, you know, as I'm going through the fun of becoming a stand-up comic, like you see people who are, I look at them, I'm like, you got some fucking demons, and they're surrounding you. They're not even chasing you anymore, man. They've cornered you,
right?
And you're, you know, I have friends in the comedy community that you know are homeless. I have friends that are nomads. I have friends that are horribly addicted to drugs.
Okay.
These are people that obviously write from that perspective. But then I also have friends that are like IT people.
Sure.
You know,
they just have a good sense of humor. They're quirky.
This is their outlet. This is their way of you know, kind of breaking down the world around them and getting some creativity out there and just having some fun. And I think I probably would fit more into that camp. Like,
that's fair.
I don't see myself as a fundamentally broken human being. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to get better every day. But when I go home, I don't think, man, I gotta chase my vices. I go home and I go, I'm living a pretty good life. I got a lot going for me, which is nice.
Comedy's definitely made you, I mean, a better person. I think in terms of like
it's perspective,
it's giving you something to strive for, right? And you're a guy who excels when you have something to do, when you know what you're going for, you're doing something, you're getting better.
Listless.
Yeah, whether it be jiu-jitsu, whether it be comedy, whether it be this.
Yeah, what's nice to know, you know. But I think everyone, it's the same with all writers. You bring in, you know, you bring into that room all of your past experiences, and if some of those are dark, you can tap into that. I think that, again, I think everyone goes through the same process of like, there's only so much inspiration you're going to have before you just have to start putting the work in. Yeah. That's just the way it goes. And everyone's got that. Everyone's had those moments where you're like I'll sit to write jokes and I'll go back the next day and be like, that's just shit. Those are bad.
Now, when you hear other comedians, like, other people might be laughing, do you sit there and go,
No, yes, because I don't think it's funny, but no, because someone else laughed at it. And that's the thing is like, that's the one thing I have learned is that comedy is super subjective.
So when you're watching a comic, because when I'm watching a movie or I'm watching something, I'm like, that's not how I would have written it. But I'm not, who the fuck am I?
I think the difference there though is that like, there's a lot of people that I've seen tell jokes like that get laughs, and I'm just like, well, of course those are going to get laughs because they're just so easy. They're so
half my shit's hacky as fuck.
But it's like, but then you work on it. Though. I feel like that's the thing is like it gets it to a point where it makes sense to make the low hanging fruit joke because it is building to a bigger punchline at some point.
Mr. Witta, come on in here. Yeah, come on in. You can steal my. Awesome. You can steal my. All right, you take Nick's chair.
Fuck, I'll get up.
That's the whole point.
Stand right here.
Gary, this is Gibby Gary.
How's it going? Nice to meet you. Got a good handshake.
You too.
Firm, manly. You know the worst one?
Oh, did you do that?
Just fingertips? No, good. Nobody likes that. Yeah.
Gross him out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like it. Did not like
No,
that at all.
did not like it.
Mr. Witta,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's good to see
Times
you.
like this, you're lucky I live right around the corner.
I know. It works out really well for us, right? Gibby wrote all these books because of you.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's
Explain.
amazing.
Tell me your story. Tell me your story.
You can watch it later. No,
Pay the $5. Watch it later.
That's more than me. I just got the one.
Well, I brought a copy of the one because you're one of the reasons I got off my ass to start
I
writing.
wanted you to
cool.
sign it. You wanted
Would
you
you
to
be so
sign it.
kind?
Yeah.
Please.
So no, for real, it was that you.
You can tell this is well read. You see, it's nicely
Yeah,
dog-eared. It's been
I
properly
liked it
read.
a lot. You know.
So you were saying.
Let's see, what do you get from McDonald's? Let's see.
Hey. Let's see. What did I get?
How old is that receipt?
Yep.
This is from June 2nd, 2016.
Yes.
What a
Mighty
bookmark.
Meal 6-piece.
Yep.
Oh, the Mighty Meal. The kid.
I have
the
a
kid.
child. Damn it.
You're right.
Nothing wrong with
And
that.
I wanted the toy.
One mild picante. What is that? The dipping sauce?
No, that's for the breakfast burritos.
Oh no, I like those.
Yeah, I did too.
I like those. Strawberry Go-Gurt, Angry Birds. This is classic elements of a kid's meal.
This is great.
I like it.
Great podcast
Small
and great
Coke,
TV you're making.
cheeseburger, double cheeseburger meal. I like the double cheeseburger. Is that the one now? Is that 2 cheeseburgers or is that a cheeseburger
It's a
with 2
bun
patties?
and 2
The double
patties, 2 cheese.
cheeseburger has the
McDouble.
2 patties.
You're thinking of a
one big
number
of
2
cheese.
that comes with 2
Guys,
cheeseburgers.
guys,
The number 2
I
comes
like
with 2
I like the
cheeseburgers.
two
Hold on, I'm sorry,
cheeseburgers.
Kevin Coelho from the Kind of Funny
In the back.
McDonald's press pool.
The double cheeseburger and the McDouble are different in that the McDouble only has 1 cheese and the double cheeseburger has 2 cheeses.
The double cheeseburger is
I
also
always
$1
get mixed up
and
between-
McDouble's
when
a
you say
bigger
double
patty, too.
cheeseburger. To me, I think
No,
does that
double quarter
mean
pounder.
2 patties
Yes.
or 2 separate cheeseburgers? Because there
No,
is.
it's 2 patties. That is just the 2 cheeseburger
I always found it
meal.
interesting that people that just want 2 cheeseburgers, that's popular enough that it's a numbered item on the menu.
Yeah.
Like people sometimes
Oh,
just
yeah.
want 2 cheeseburgers.
The number 2.
Yeah.
Gets it all the time.
They
It's a
got rid
classic.
of it for many years and they brought it back.
I like by popular demand.
Yeah,
I guess,
man,
'cause
I
you don't want
want-
to
I
say, hey,
loved
give
it.
me another cheeseburger. You just want to say, give me a number 2.
Yeah,
And it makes sense that it's number 2, right? Because 2
2
cheeseburgers.
cheeseburgers.
See?
They know what they're doing.
See?
Mickey
That's why
D's.
that's why
These
McDonald's
kids in
make
high
the
school
big
used to call it
bucks.
steaming number 2s. I
Yeah,
don't
and you
like
got the
that.
sausage
they really?
burritos in there. That's my breakfast go-to, actually, the sausage burritos.
They're good any time of year.
Undervalued item.
Yeah, it's true.
All right,
I concur.
let's do this.
At one point, that was used as a bookmark for a reread. Yes.
Do you want me to make this out to you or anyone?
Yeah, Gibby's fine.
How do you spell that?
Gibby.
What's the story there?
My name's Mike Gibson,
Oh, okay.
and everybody's called me Gibby in the military because there's a million of us. So just Gibby or Gib.
I've never seen you write anything, Gary, but that's
I
an
didn't know you-
interesting way to
I
write.
I didn't know you were
That's-
left-handed.
I'm left-handed, and I hold
Explains a
my pen
lot.
like kind of
Explains a lot.
awful
Oh, I-
club-footed
like,
way.
yeah.
You ever see
Going
Obama holds his pen the same way? It's this weird, like,
doubt it.
don't want to hold my pen.
Well, everybody, we've hit 5 o'clock, so Nick has to eat. He's like a gremlin with very specific rules.
But Gary's, I want to watch the show. And then what better way to watch the show
I
than
thought
by
there was
eating?
like some sick challenge, like every hour Nick has to eat something gross or something.
I would take that challenge,
You
sir.
would put it past
and I would
us.
win. I would win that
Bro,
challenge.
thank you so
I'm a
much.
champion.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'm a
Thank you
champion.
for inspiring.
Am I done now, or do you
Yeah,
still
that's
want
it.
me to-
I mean, you can hang out. We're gonna wrap up the show. You can do post show with him. You talk to him or something.
I'll stick it.
You
I'll
just
hang
go
out- I'll
home
hang
if
out
you
for
want.
5 minutes.
Starfighter
then I'll go.
Sorry,
Okay.
Jen got sick. I was supposed to come over for dinner tonight. And then
Tonight, these guys are
Jen
supposed
caught
to
my
come over
cold.
for dinner.
Jen caught my cold.
And then Jen got sick, which I wonder if it's one. I wonder if she's actually sick, or if it's that
it's
thing
like-
where you make plans, but then
Here's
when
what
the,
I was-
when the horizon of the plans comes
You're
up,
like,
like, oh
I
shit,
just-
that's today.
I would
Oh,
give,
suddenly I'm not feeling so good.
I would give you that, except like, do you really think we've coordinated getting out of dinner so much that she started tweeting about
Well, I
this
don't
at like
know.
9
You told
a.m.?
me that she got sick from you, and you look like the picture of health.
No, you can tell. I was yesterday. I felt terrible.
You had
And
a
looked
mild
terrible.
cough.
I know, but Greg, like at half speed, is still better than the average man.
That is
Goddamn
true.
right.
So-
You're goddamn
That's
right
true.
about that. Yeah.
So you can't really tell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can't really tell when he's sick.
Yeah, Jen was telling me like she's like Michael Clark Duncan from The Green Mile, where she was like sucking it out of me, and it was going inside of her. And I'll leave it up to yours.
Did she grab you by the junk
What
too?
was she? I'm sorry, Nick. We're out of time.
she
If you
saying
didn't know,
again?
ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, just like Gibby did when he gave us way too much money to support us and make our dreams come true. You can give us far less money. Watch the show live. Thank you, Kevin. Watch the show live as we record it, or catch it then the Friday as an on-demand video that includes the pre and post shows, an MP3 that doesn't include any of that. Just go up to $5 more. You know what I mean? See what's happening on that
see
post
what
show.
happens.
Well, Gary Witt is here for the post show. Who knows
You
what's
never
going to happen
know
this
what
time?
might happen.
Exactly.
It's like the old
That's
Dean Martin
crazy.
variety show. Who's this at the door?
No,
oh
no.
my God, Sammy Davis Jr.
We should do that where we get like the bookshelf to be a door again, and then
You should
random people
totally
can
do
knock
that.
in.
Just
It's gonna
random
go,
drop in and
Nolan
do that.
North, what are you doing
Who
here?
could that be?
Yeah,
Come on in. We're just sitting down for dinner. Yeah.
Of course, if you don't want to give us any money, we understand. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where each and every episode goes live Friday. It also goes up as at one big MP3. Is 1 week after all the Patreon stuff. It used to be a very easy pitch. I feel like it's convoluted now. There's just too much stuff happening. Shut up.
It was definitely more
your
complicated than
avocado
it does.
steak.
It has grown over the years, brother.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It shrank in some ways.
Shrinkage. Did you have fun, Gibby?
Had a great time.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No,
and
thank you very
supporting us.
much, man.
Everyone, go find your books on
Or,
MK Gibson.
Or mkgibson.com. You
Wait,
can
so
find
you
my
were
books.
inspired to write by my book?
Yeah.
And you've written like what, 6 books?
Insanity,
I'm
right?
starting to feel very much like a slacker right now. I haven't done shit since this one. He's written like 6 books.
Aren't you working on The Last Starfighter?
Yeah, I got some stuff, but like I haven't had anything out.
You make movies.
You had
You did the Last Jedi comic.
What's that?
You did the Last Jedi comic.
Issue 5's out next week.
Did anybody see him like fucking nail the Nerdist the other day? It was
Oh
fucking
man, they were so
awesome.
lazy.
Didn't want to get in
I
trouble
had
for
to
that?
hit- I'm sorry, but I had to
Don't want to
hit
get in
him.
trouble for that? Okay, that's not what I'm talking about.
I had to hit him.
You had to.
'Cause
It
it
was
was
just
so
great. Did you
lazy.
see this?
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, where they were just like, oh, Gary,
To be fair,
did the Last Jedi comic book just fix problems? And he's like, no.
I got a very nice apology from their social media manager, but they didn't change the story. It's still up. This lazy ass piece of reporting. It's like, is the Last Jedi? Were these creative decisions spurred by this or that? Well, you know what? The writer is like right here. Anyone you can DM. You actually want to do some real journalism? It's not that hard. The writer of the comics right here on Twitter. I'll talk to anyone. Didn't even think to do it. Lazy ass internet journalism.
You heard it here first. Gary Whitta will talk to you. Hit him up.
He'll
talk to every one of you.
I'm so lonely. Talk to anyone.
Talk to me.
I would please. Oh, really? Yeah. Really? Outright? What's
Every
that?
day
I'll
he's at
talk
his
to you
computer and
guys.
he looks. He's like, "Is it Widow Wednesday yet?" Nah, fuck.
There's no Widow Wednesday this week.
I know it's Widow Thursday. Widow Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
Widow Thursday.
I'm glad. It's
That's a way to do
it's
it.
impressive to see you and it's like cool to see your kids like fix their own problems. Jared, you take care of it on
see
my
that?
own.
Yeah, it's like when an AI becomes sentient. It's like, oh
Well,
shit.
that's
Like, well, you want to
terrifying.
watch out because you know how that ends.
Yeah, exactly. Not
Ends up with
well.
overthrowing the oppressors.
I'm gonna come in here one
Human
day.
oppressors.
No,
Jared's
this
sitting at my
bicentennial man,
desk.
it worked out very well for Robin
It's only a
Williams.
matter of time
Great.
before
He
Tim
got to have
becomes
sex with the
self-aware.
granddaughter
Yeah.
of the woman he loved.
That
Right?
got really weird.
Coming on
Yeah,
over.
really weird.
Yeah.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. And now it's the post show.
I love it.
Oh, there's a
last
post
night,
show?
Oh yeah,
yes.
we do that live too.
Live.
Everybody's live
I
right
got
now.
45 minutes on the meter, so I'll hang out.
Last night,
You get a case of LaCroix for this, so there you go.
The whole case.
You think I showed up
Okay.
here for my health?
Last
go be-
night,
go be, you're
last
right,
night
you're right.
I got suckered into the whole story doesn't matter, but Burger King. I had to eat Burger King.
Ew.
And
My
it
kid
was
loves
very
Burger
rough.
King.
we
So
have a
I-
chat?
you know why? Because she loves the little paper crown they give you, the
Well, see,
cardboard crown.
yeah, man. They
Who
make,
doesn't
they make
know?
you feel good. I understand that.
But they're not good burgers.
But
Tim.
they're not good at all.
They're not good fries?
I'm okay with the fries. I'm okay with the fries.
Crunchy and
Burger,
good.
if Burger King fries are so good, why do they reinvent them every couple of years? Because they
Great
cannot
point,
find the
great point.
formula.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing, whatever. I'm with you. I do not like Burger King. I'm looking through.
fuck
I'm
Burger
looking
King.
through,
More like
and they
Burger
had
Peasant.
something. The thing that I wanted the most. They had the double quarter king.
Just
Wait,
say it.
can I just pay Andy to hang out with me? Because he laughs at all my shit.
That's Kevin. That's Kevin.
Oh, sorry, Kevin. I want Kevin to hang out with me
Yeah.
because he laughs at all my jokes.
Yeah.
I desperately
Burger
need
Peasant's
it.
pretty great.
Burger
The
Peasant.
joke, a lot of my jokes die on this side of the camera, but they kill over there.
Oh yeah.
The double quarter king.
Is that a
double
thing?
quarter
Double
pounder?
quarter king.
Double quarter pounder king.
Okay.
Isn't that what
Was
they
what
call
it
it?
was. Yes.
Okay.
So, also known as a half pounder burger. I
Right.
wasn't that hungry. I only wanted a quarter pounder king.
Do they not have a single quarter pounder king?
So that's the thing is, I asked him. I was just like, "Can I just get a quarter pounder king?" And she looks at me, and goes, "Oh, the number 3." I'm like, "No, that's a double quarter pounder."
Can you
I
take
just
one of the
want
patties, throw it out?
one quarter pounder, just one patty? She goes,
they don't like it when you
I'm
order
like,
off the menu.
Burger King.
Burger
what's
King's
their-
have it your way.
Have it your way. All right.
Oh, to be fair, did you throw that in their face?
No. I was trying to just be like, because I could tell she didn't understand what I was saying, and I'm like,
Was it a language
and I
problem or
no,
an off the
and
menu?
I'm like, I just want half of it, just a quarter pounder. She goes,
You want me to cut the
Oh,
burger
did,
in
did
half?
she
And
like
she
cut
goes-
the burger in half?
"Oh, you want a single quarter pounder?" And I'm like, Yes.
Yes.
And then she started giving me shit. When you order that, you need to say single quarter pounder. And I'm like,
Whatever happened to the customer is always right.
Right.
but I mean, it's just one of those things like a quarter pounder and a single quarter pounder. are the same thing.
But is that not the single quarter pounder? Is that not a discrete item on the
Not a
menu?
discrete menu.
They go straight to
Nope.
the double.
I'm sorry,
Straight
Nick
to double.
Scarpino from the Burger King Kids Club.
And you guys know that I don't understand math, spelling, grammar, or pretty much anything else. But wouldn't a double quarter pounder be a half pounder?
That's what I'm fucking
but
saying.
they don't. I think somewhere in their marketing research they figured out that a double quarter pounder sounds like
better.
because of the
Sounds
double.
more.
bigger.
Sounds more than a half
More
pounder.
consonants, more
I
vowels.
just wanted that quarter, man. Just wanted it. And then so I was like, can I get a single quarter pounder? Oh yeah. She gives me it. Thanks.
So if you just ask for a single quarter pounder, there's
It
no
would have all
you don't
been
get
good.
any static.
no static.
There is a lot of pro Burger King talk out there.
I missed
Kevin
most-
Ace
I
X
missed
says
most of that
Burger
talk.
King is good,
Oh, this
way
is the
better
live,
than McDonald's.
This is the live
Yeah,
chat?
yeah.
Okay.
Mike says BK breakfast sandwiches are great.
Nuggets are def better than McDonald's. That is straight
course,
up
come
not
on.
correct.
straight up not true.
Listen,
No.
as a person, if you said,
wait,
Nick,
no,
we're going
no.
to either Burger King or McDonald's, I would pick Burger King.
The
Now, I'm
Burger-
not saying it's not. I don't dislike McDonald's. I just like I like the Whopper. I like the flame broiled taste of it, and I do like the fries there. Also, they have the onion rings that are like tiny.
Oh, they're delicious.
The only
Finger
thing
food.
The onion rings, I'm not gonna argue.
because my kid drags me to Burger. She loves the chicken nugget kid meal, so I go to
good
Burger
taste.
King a lot now against my will.
Yeah.
Because again, she loves that cardboard crown. Again, who doesn't? I gotta.
I get it. I get it.
You gotta get
man.
it.
Excellent
The
marketing.
one thing that I would say for the Burger King nuggets is they offer a spicy option, which McDonald's
Which
is
is
not
always
yet
good.
caught up with.
See, that's the spicy chicken is always better than normal chicken. And the problem with
Yes.
KFC is KFC has the spicy chicken, which is great. But if the KFC is sharing the space with a Taco Bell or Pizza Hut or whatever,
Yeah.
they don't have the spicy option.
Well, the thing I don't like about the spicy chicken at KFC is that it's not just spicy; it's also extra crispy. If they kept with the
like
original
that.
recipe, but
No,
just
extra
spiced it
crispy
up
all
a
the
bit,
way.
that would be, I'd be all over that.
I'm
into
sorry
the
again,
extra crisp.
Nick Scarpino from the Burger King Kids Club.
As a person who rides Greg Miller's coattails, I can attest. I don't like that KFC is riding Taco Bell's coattails. I don't like this. It's bullshit. And every time I walk in, I think, Taco Bell, you need to kick this fucking freeloader right out. Kick him out.
How do you know it's not the other way
Mr.
around?
Scarpino.
How do you know Taco Bell?
Taco Bell does not need KFC. All right.
I wish there was a camera on Nick's face right there.
Come on.
Champ, if I may, in my little town of Mount Airy where I live, we have a KFC
where do you-
Taco
sorry,
Bell.
where do you live?
Mount Airy, Maryland.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, it's nowhere, but it's fantastic. But point is, there's a KFC Taco Bell, and it is 5-layer burrito and nuggets at the same time. The popcorn chicken. Oh, it is the
That is
best.
the great thing about having two under the one roof is you get to mix and match.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to
totally.
choose.
That's true,
I
but
usually do that. I'll have a little bit of KFC and a little bit of Taco Bell. And mix
Yes.
them up.
My thing is, I've just never been a KFC guy. I've
No,
never.
really?
No.
I'll
my
make
thing.
a stand right now and say that it's actually the best fried chicken.
Better than Popeyes.
I think it's better. Well,
Popeyes is all
here's
breading.
the ultimate. If they were next to one another,
Yeah.
this is what I would do.
Oh, here we go. I
I'd
like.
get the
Can
KFC.
let me guess. Let me
All right,
guess.
you ready?
Yeah.
you think you know where this is going?
I do a little
All
bit.
right, well, let me
Spotted
Well,
dick.
here.
Here's what I know what's
write
happening.
it down. Write your prediction.
How many
down.
options are? How many things are you about to order? How many items?
It's a very simple combination of two items that I'm going to go with. But you need a KFC and a Popeyes to make it work.
Okay, hold on.
All right, let's see. Okay, Greg's going to write down his secret.
Can you give me I just want.
The music's not going to stop, Greg.
That's fine. I just want. How many
Alex
items am I
Trebek.
guessing?
Ba,
3?
Ba, ba.
2 items.
Did he say 2?
Bum.
Oh.
All right, you're done. You got it? You only need two
You didn't
items.
say what is. You lost.
Okay, so fold that away. Don't let me see it.
Give it a gimme.
It's a very simple
Does that
combination.
make sense to you, that second one?
Original recipe chicken
Yes, sort of.
from KFC, 3-piece, and the Cajun mashed potatoes from Popeyes.
Fuck! I went the exact opposite.
You went the other way!
I thought KFC mashed
No,
potatoes.
no.
And then
The
Popeyes
Cajun,
chicken.
the Cajun mashed potatoes from Popeyes.
I know that's supposed to be
That's
pop,
something
but
special.
it looks like DOP or Dope Chicks.
You understood what it fucking meant.
Well,
No,
let
I'm
me
just
see what
saying
you
you're
wrote
right
here.
into shit.
Well, it's because
See,
I
I'm
was like,
glad you brought that
I thought
up.
I was going multiple
No, I
items
can
down.
read that. Pop Chicks.
Thank you.
KFC
Pop Chicks,
mashed.
thank
I
you.
got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Fuck! I didn't.
You had the combo just flipped.
I don't know if I've had the Popeyes mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's one of the best things
While we're here, here's what I'd like to do, Nick.
Yeah.
And you'll follow me on this, all right? We know 2 very, very attractive people who have made a beautiful son. And what I like, they both work out
You
too
want me
much.
to call Lou and Elena?
No, that's cute. That's cute. That's your parents. They both work out too much. They both are too healthy.
Okay.
They both, or one of them rides their bike too much.
Yeah.
But Jessica Chobot and Blair Herter
Oh, ridiculous human beings. They're
eat
so
at
beautiful.
Popeyes quite often, and I really fucking respect it.
You know
that
what?
he is so that Blair is so fucking go New Orleans. He's like, I'm gonna keep eating Papa.
Yeah, and he's all like Mr. Super CrossFit.
Yeah,
fitness
he's
man,
like
right?
riding like 300 miles on his bike.
I haven't seen Blair in a really long time, but every time I see him, it reminds me of what I could have been had I not just got the shit end of the genetic lottery.
Wow.
Like, you know how when you go to get the scratchers and you don't win anything? That was me.
Do you think you and Blair could be in like a reboot of Twins?
Yeah, 100%.
Think of it this way. Think of it this way, though.
100%.
Remember,
It'd just be depressing.
remember, Liquid Snake thought he got all the bad genes, when in reality he got all the good genes. And Solid Snake got all the bad genes, but he made him look better.
Yeah, but Danny DeVito was still the one that no one.
I would.
wanted.
The thing is, everything's relative. There's someone on the superior side of you, but there's someone on the inferior side too. I mean, look at me.
And Blair's better than both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was standing next to Fran Mirabella
you're tall.
at kind of funny prom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's
He's beautiful.
what happened to me?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I definitely felt like I got dealt the short. It's only when you stand next to someone who's really good looking that you realize that you're not shit.
It's
But think of it this
all-
way: Fran, incredibly unhappy.
How
You know what
so?
I mean? He's just lonely,
it like
sad.
a
He just streams Destiny all the time,
Why
right?
is he so mean to him?
Well, because he's beautiful and he's awesome. We know that. We're amazing.
Isn't
It was-
this
it was
like a
show.
beautiful woman is the loneliest creature in the world kind of
Pretty
deal?
much, you know
Everything
what I
else
mean?
will bring a
With a
guitar
man?
everywhere
Yeah.
he goes.
Okay.
Fran likes to think of himself as that rose inside the glass thing in Beauty and the Beast.
It's the last
He's just-
pedal. We're gonna
he's just
fucking
spinning
die.
along.
Just kiss him for
He worked-
Christ's
to be
sake.
fair,
Well, fucking
Fran-
I'm a goddamn armoire.
Fran's got a very good genetic base, but he does work at it. I asked him. 'cause
Oh
he
my
had-
God,
he had
Fran fucking
he had
kills himself for that.
Astonishing hair.
No, it's
and I
amazing.
asked him. I said, "What do you do to your hair to get it look like that?" And I thought he was going to say, "What this? I just rolled out of bed this way. This is how it looks naturally."
Oh, he knows.
he
He's
took
got-
me
he
through.
takes
He
care of it.
took him 10 minutes to describe his routine to
I
get the hair
I
that way. He
roomed
works
with him
at
one
it.
time.
He
I
works.
shared a hotel room with him one time because
Oh,
I
you
used to be
did?
his employee. And IGN's cheap, so we always had to share hotel rooms together.
Did you feel like there was a chance that something could happen?
I was weirded out the entire time, and
Yeah.
I just refused. First off,
Because
sharing a
some men
hotel
are
room
so
with
good
your boss
looking,
is
you
fucking
just
weird.
don't. You
Sure,
just don't care
sure.
I
about.
get into the bathroom, Gary, and it's you know how like you've got a ton of counter space in the bathroom with
did
every
you have all the-
hotel.
all the products?
Holy shit! I was like, dude, like there wasn't even enough counter space left for my own little tiny thing. I had to like put it on top of the toilet. It was like HGH for his hair that he sprayed on the hair,
yeah.
and then
He
under the
described a
tongue and all this other
multi-step
stuff. Oh my
process
god!
to me.
Like all legal stuff, we think.
Human growth
Maybe he
hormone?
went to Mexico or Canada for some of this stuff. Who the hell knows? But yeah, his hair, he works at it. He
It's
definitely
like,
works
it's like
at
Will
it.
Smith. He says it's hard goddamn work looking this good.
Will Smith makes it look good, though.
Yeah,
he does.
he does.
I'll say, though, all kidding aside, you have a lot of good things going for you physically, though. You got good hair. You're tall.
I'm bald. I'm going bald.
But it's like a peppery.
Have you heard about our sponsor of
Coolness.
Games Daily, forhims.com?
No, so that's to stop you going bald. It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, I'm
Close
boned.
enough.
I read that this morning. Like, I'm done.
Every
I take the stuff.
I always told
I'm not
myself.
letting it go.
I always told myself. You want to know? You want to hear a really personal story?
I do.
I do.
That's what we
really-
brought you on the
I
talk
really-
show
really
for.
pay the money
We're here
for.
for.
Yep.
My mother, who passed away some years ago, I
I'm
remember
sad.
I was only young. My maternal grandfather died when I was very young, and I never really knew him very well. But I have this fuzzy childlike memory of this man with this tremendous head of hair, white, like a shock of white, thick
Sure,
white
sure.
hair.
Love it. I wish I can get there one day.
A
I'm just
mane
not
of hair, and I found out years later that genetically that's what you want to see. You want your maternal
Of course.
Yeah.
grandfather to have good hair because that means you will have good hair too, and you won't go bald. And then years later, my mother told me,
Oh, no.
that's not your real
Oh
grandfather.
no.
That was
That was
like-
Leslie Nielsen.
That was yeah.
It's just a picture of Leslie Nielsen from Nick and
Did he have a really
But
deep
there was
voice?
some family drama where that
Sure.
wasn't. And my first thought was, what kind of hair did the real guy
Oh,
have?
God, I know.
Because that's what I care about. And as it turns out,
Bad
yeah,
hair.
I'm going. The only good grace is I'd rather go bald from the crown than from here to have it recede from the front.
I'm kind of opposite on that. 'cause that-
What's your situation?
I'm going bald. Yeah,
You
it's
are?
coming. Yeah, it's,
Yours is
it's
coming
thin
from the
on top.
temple.
It's coming here, and
But it still looks good.
it is what it is, right? I've got a certain limit at which I will just start. I'll do this, and I
should.
love
Oh.
this look. I think it's totally good.
Yeah,
Now,
rub-
do you-
rub
do you-
Gibby,
is
rub
that-
Gibby.
Are you doing that in a
into
kind
it.
of a white flag kind of way? Like there's no dignity in this battle?
No,
kind
no.
of thing?
Okay, so when I was a younger man,
You've got a lot of hair on top of your
Oh,
head.
dude, no, but
You
I
could
was,
grow
yeah,
it out.
I
It'll
know,
look great.
no, except for the solar panel right here. It just
see.
it highlights
The solar
it's
panel.
yeah, it's a way of saying bald. No, when I was a kid, I used to have like this great mane of like Simba, like the Lion King hair, and when I was in the military, I kept it as long as legally possible because it was great.
Well, how long is that in the military?
It depends on the
Pretty
military,
short,
but
right?
well, I have a big forehead, so it couldn't come past your eyebrows. So my
Okay.
hair could like my forehead's always been big, but it would come down to here, right
Okay.
onto that line,
Okay.
and be like a nice fade. And think like Leo DiCaprio back in his 90s
In the-
era,
in the
Yeah.
floppy
I like
hair?
that.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
Leonardo
yeah.
DiCaprio from The Great Gatsby.
We can talk about him
He was
later.
beautiful.
He was.
But the point, and then right around 10 years ago, I'm like, oh no, I'm starting to see it a little bit. And then in the military's like, yeah, fuck it, shave it and just look mean. Because I started having like, troops and people paying attention to you, so you just gotta look mean anyway. And then I want to grow it out again. I'm like, that's dumb. Just keep it down as short.
I was told myself, and I haven't stayed true to this because again, there's quite a lot of bald back here. That if it ever happened to me, I would just immediately run up the white flag and just picard it, just straight all the way off, and just say,
I don't like the
because there's no dignity in that fight.
Right,
genetics will win every time until we come up with some magic tonic.
It needs to be a gene altering thing. I've thought
it needs
a lot
to be
about
a genetic
this.
thing.
You have to use that. We have to be able to use CRISPR and go in and alter the genes that we grow.
And I haven't
back.
done it, but every time I look at myself in the mirror, like when you get a double mirror, or you see a picture of you behind, goes, God damn, I'm going bald. I reach for those balding clippers, and I'm just gonna get rid of it. The problem is when my hair looks like that, I look like a real thug, and people are, because of the shape of my, I look like Ray Winstone.
Yeah.
And
Ray Winstone's
afraid-
a nice. Yeah.
Because I've got I don't have much of an accent left, but like I'm fairly heavy set, and my accent, and if you add.
But you have a happy
Go
face.
with it, man. That's
But you
awesome.
have a happy face. The point is, like, there are 2 words for every guy who's going bald. Jason Statham. And that's all you need to know. Like, you just work out a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Well, no shit. Well, he's gorgeous. God damn it.
I did a movie
Wilson
with Jason
Fisk.
Statham. Really nice
Jesus
guy.
fucking
What's that?
name dropper.
I did a movie with Jason Statham.
Which movie did you do?
Called War. He's in it with Jet Li.
Jet Li.
I did a
Yeah, no
rewrite
shit.
on it.
I didn't know
And
that.
Humble brag, but a good one.
I'll tell you one of my favorite Hollywood stories that I've rarely told.
I love these Hollywood
So
stories.
I was at his house, and he lives in this beautiful Japanese-inspired kind of minimalist house.
So
The
not
kind of thing
mine.
where you take your shoes off and like sit on the floor at the table. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very cool.
like an old
And
palace
it's
in
up off,
Kyoto.
it's one of those windy roads off Sunset Boulevard.
And
He
you
still
sucker
lives there
punched
now.
him.
He certainly did many years ago. And I needed when I was done, I was going to another meeting, and it was all the way down on Sunset Boulevard. And this is before Uber or any of this. I'd been dropped off by one of the producers. And I was going to walk all the way back down. He said, no, don't do that. I'll give you a ride. And he opens up the garage, and it's the fucking car from the transporter that they gave him.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so Jason Statham gave me a
They
ride.
put the gloves
in
on, he's like,
yeah.
Do you take how many kilograms are allowed for the car? You know.
It was,
That's really
it was
cool.
like 5 minutes of total badassness.
that one story is cooler
They
than
just
all
let
of my
him keep
stories
it.
combined.
He said, they just let me keep it.
That's
I was like, you
amazing.
motherfucker.
That's
I'm in the wrong
awesome.
business.
I think you're the right business.
Well, in the wrong time. I'm in the wrong role in business.
So you went from
Yours might be a little more
So what you're saying is you went from
I've
Hollywood.
gone to the fucking gym, and I could have been Jason Statham.
That's all it is.
So you
Could've
went
been
you went from
Jason
hanging out with Jason Statham's house to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, what a,
Back to
what
the
a come
Future,
down.
you know?
It's like when Rogue One came out and Gareth was on Jimmy Kimmel and I was doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like the gap between director and writer has never been more
it's-
pronounced.
yeah.
There's no small roles in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Since I have you
Takes
here,
a village.
Actors, right?
it's a 1 in a million chance because like how many people get this chance to sit here. Who wrote in the Darth Vader scene?
You know what? It's at a point now where I honestly can't.
Or is it
pick
legally you can't even?
I mean, I wrote the first version of that
Right.
where Krennic goes to Vader and
Yep.
Vader kind of gives him a bunch of shit.
Yeah, yep.
I wrote the first version of that.
Okay.
Then Chris Weitz did a rewrite on it. There were some other writers who aren't credited on the film that worked on it. Gilroy did, I think, what is the final version of it.
Right.
Someone asked me the other day, did you write that dad joke? The answer is no. I would have remembered that. I didn't write that.
No, I mean Vader going down the hallway just murdering fools. That
was,
scene.
That was added very, very, very late. See, this is the thing. People go, oh, reshoots are bad. That was a reshoot, and it's one of the best scenes in the movie. So reshoots
so
can
good.
be
It's a
really
great
good.
scene, but like,
It's one of the best scenes in all of Star Wars.
But I've been
I
troubled
think
by
if
that
you
scene.
I think if you did across most Star Wars fans, and I say this in an as unbiased way as I can, just as a fan.
Yeah.
If you did what are your top 10 favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, I feel like that Vader hallway scene would be in there because it's so fucking great.
Oh, yeah. It's I mean,
so
it is
badass.
one of the best scenes
I
in
had
all
an
of Star
earlier
Wars.
version of it that I pitched in the story room but never wrote. It was never in a draft. It was the same idea. It was a similar idea where originally, and this is why in the reshoots you see them running across that, or in the original trailers you saw them running across the beach, and that's not in the finished film. Because in the original version of it, there were 2 facilities. There was the facility where they kept the plans, and then the transmit tower. And they had to steal the plans from one building and then fight across the beach to get to the tower. In the rewrites and everything else, it was decided that was like too many moving parts.
Yeah.
And some cleverer writer than me said, let's just put it all
Put
in
it
the
all in
same
place,
tower.
they gotta go up
and,
top.
and we'll consolidate the action. So that made total sense. But in the earlier version of it, what I was going to pitch was Jin and K2 and those guys were going up the tower, and then all the rebel soldiers congregated around the base of the tower to fortify it so that the Empire couldn't follow them up there. To basically like make a
So
barricade.
like
beachhead,
basically
yeah.
fight them off and last man standing kind of thing.
It's the rebel commanders are holding off
Like
the Imperial
300.
troops. And Vader's up on the Star Destroyer watching this, and the battle reports are coming in, and they say, Lord Vader, we can't get through the tower. There's too many rebels down there, and Vader says, "Put me on that beach."
Oh,
And he
son
goes
of a
down
bitch,
there
that
and
would've been
just,
a good
I just got a
scene.
better scene in my head.
And basically does. Well, here's the thing. I don't think it would have been. I think it would have been a cool scene, and I'm glad that it led to what they eventually did. I think, and it would have been cool to see Vader like tear everyone apart on that rebel beach. But I think it works better in the hallway because it's more contained. There's nowhere on the beach you could maybe run away. In the hallway, there's nowhere to go.
Because
Yeah.
would that just
So
be
if they could
Battlefront
play
2 at
more
that
like
point?
a horror type movie.
The terror of that, and that scene was so beautifully captured. Like they
Oh my god,
just
the kind of that
claustrophobia,
choral kind of
the
Sith type
fucking
music
that one
that comes
guy.
in.
Just
that take it, take it,
The
take
thing
it.
that I love about that scene is in 30 seconds you see everything in the Swiss Army knife of Sith powers. I'm going to force choke you.
Yeah.
You're going into the roof.
Yeah.
You're getting lightsabered. I'm pulling all your guns away from you. Every single dark force power that we know Vader has, he uses them all in like 20, 30 yards of space.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh god, it was.
Gibby,
Beautifully orchestrated.
What's that, brother?
What problems were you saying you had with that?
No, I didn't have a problem with it. It just troubled me afterwards because it was like one of those, like, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that is so fucking awesome. And then I'm like, walking away, I'm like, I really just rooted for that guy murdering these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
And then
I
later
know.
on, you're like,
Cool.
he did help blow up planets and he murdered children,
Yeah.
but he got to come back all because he's like, hey, Luke, I'm sorry.
Well,
and
maybe-
he's a Force Ghost. He's a good guy at the end. So like it was one of those scenes
It's
that just
beautiful. It's a
it was
beautiful
it was
scene.
a,
I love it when the door jams and the guys like,
but that was beautiful.
You see Vader in the background, straight up
Just
murdering everyone.
murking people, just back there.
I think I've
fucking
told you this
murking
before, but
people.
if you're interested in little bits of Easter egg trivia, the final guy that like pulls the lever that releases the Tantive 4, that's Gareth. That's his cameo.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
And he's in Last Jedi as well. He's got cameos in two.
Oh,
Star
what was
Wars
he in
films.
Last Jedi?
When the guy in the very end at Crate, when the rebels are in the trench and the guy kind of it's Salt.
Sat, yeah.
The guy next to him is Gareth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's in a couple of them. And
cool. That's
Ryan
good.
is in Rogue One.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when the Death Star fires and you see the two guys go like that, the guy's like on the gantry when the big beam comes out. That's Ryan and Ron Bergman, his producer.
Oh, that's
in
really
the
cool.
Imperial getup.
That's
All the
really
directors
cool.
give each other little cameos. It's fun.
I like hearing those stories too. I like hearing the stories like people like Daniel Craig sneaking on and being like,
Oh, yeah.
"We're
As a
gonna- I'm
stormtrooper.
gonna do
Yeah,
a
the
stormtrooper,"
stormtrooper,
like
yeah.
Kevin Smith doing some
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
for it, and everyone getting in the spirit of Star Wars of being like, we're all nerds. Let's just agree that this is going to be awesome and
everyone
everyone's
wants
going
to
to be
do
a part
it.
of
I
it.
don't know if this has ever happened, but I remember being in a discussion with Gareth and our cinematographer Greg Fraser, and we wanted to use. They were doing a camera test, and Greg. This is the power of Star Wars. I don't know if this ever happened, but at the time it seemed like it was something that would totally fix the problem that we had. Is that he wanted to use two different kinds of cameras, and the problem was the camera companies were rivals. And Gareth said, "Look, I want this kind of camera for these shots and this kind of camera for these shots." And Greg said, "I think that would be brilliant, but the problem is these two guys will never. They're both going to say if you're using their cameras, you can't use
Yeah, you
ours."
can't get the deal on
And Gareth
this.
said, "Just tell them both they can be stormtroopers." And like that will solve the problem. That would totally solve the problem.
Totally solve the problem. There's not a lot of things you can't solve by letting me be a stormtrooper in my life.
And
You
the
know what I
thing
mean?
is, who's to
Like,
know?
yeah,
You go, that's me
I'll do
right
it.
there. How would you ever know?
Yeah, no,
Unless you
totally,
take
totally.
the helmet off, nobody knows.
Wouldn't matter.
But
I'd
he's
be like,
but
I'm
you
right
wouldn't
there.
care. I'm the
right
guy
there. I'm
right
that guy
there.
right there. They could literally lie to me, but like, you're that guy. I'm like, yes, I was. I wasn't.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember shooting it, but I guess
Nick,
they composited me in.
You were totally in the movie.
I was totally in the movie. That I'm a stormtrooper. It'll be great.
What's up? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm enjoying your story. Jeez,
Oh,
fucking
okay.
sorry.
Tell us
all
some
right.
stories.
Was that the? What else? I want to go back to Jason Statham. What else? Was he a cool guy? Does he talk about me?
Yes, Pete. He doesn't talk about you, Nick.
No, that's
he
cool.
was, he was really nice. And I
seems like
got
a nice dude.
Yeah, and I got to hang out with him in his house. And I'll give you an example of like how writers are treated in Hollywood. This is a true story. So they brought me onto the script was already written, but the way that Hollywood often works is the script wasn't ready to shoot. Like it had a lot of logistical logic, character problems. Like both Jason and Jet, who are in there. If you've ever seen this movie, it's not very good. It's called
I think I
War.
have.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
I did a.
I get a lot. To
and
be
there's a
honest,
couple, like,
I get a lot of the Statham movies mixed up because he did the Mechanic series, he did the one that you just spoke over, the Transporter, and then
Yeah.
a bunch of them. And if
he
you look at them at a
he
glance,
plays
they all
very
look the same.
similar characters in these films,
Jason
except when he does
Statham.
comedy, which he's actually surprisingly good
Oh, like
at.
what was that?
dude, did you see him in
Spy? He
Spy?
was really
Spy.
good.
Oh my
Phenomenal.
God.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'll stand
And
by.
Fast and Furious, doesn't he play a similar kind of dude?
He plays the badass bad
Yeah.
guy, but who's now a
Yeah.
good guy, which is
Yeah.
convoluted. and
Crank,
weird,
that's
but
what
we
I
all
couldn't
just
think
go.
of.
Crank, oh my favorite.
Crank, yeah.
Crank and
one and
Crank.
When he's
two
actually
are
reading bilingual
amazing.
subtitles, he's like, "Where'd you sign that?"
I love it. Oh, that was a good Jason
That
Statham.
was.
You know what I mean?
Statham.
Yeah, he's
That was
like,
good.
so
Better
you know
than
what
me.
I mean, and that fast.
Yeah, yeah. I like Jason Statham.
We had when we had Cameron Cuff on, who was he's in Krypton right now. He does an amazing Statham because he takes Brando and makes it English, and that's Statham.
Right.
Little talk you like this. I can't do it because I can't go from Brando to English, but when he does, you're like, That is Jason.
Yeah, one of the
Statham.
things you'll notice about Jason is that he's always very, and he doesn't need to shout. He's always, because he knows he isn't just demonstrate. I mean, look at him. He's going to kick the shit out of you. He doesn't need to raise his voice
Jacked.
to demonstrate that.
Once
He's jacked.
Yeah, once I saw him and realized I was gonna go bald, I was like, "There's hope for me."
That's
And then you
exactly-
probably see him, and you're probably like, he's probably like 6'2" and really jacked and like really good looking naturally, and has a great skull. But whatever, there's hope for me. It's gonna be fine. We got it. We got it. The thing is, I used to shave my head. So before I started using,
you did?
Yeah, before I started using products, I was like, screw it, because I'm in my early 20s
Is
or
this
mid
just out of
20s.
laziness? You didn't want to do it with your hair?
I had started going bald when I was 25, and my brother and my dad are cue balls. They're gone. It's
Okay.
gone. They left them a long time ago. And my brother started losing his hair in his mid 20s as well. And so when I started doing it, I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna fight this. I'm not gonna take anything for it. I'm just gonna start shaving it. And something clicked over. I'm like, I'll start taking this pill and seeing if it works. And I have just stayed at that level. And then when I got married, my wife was like, you should try growing your
Do
hair
you
out
think
and
you will
getting it
reach a
styled
point
differently.
of baldness where you'll just go back to shaving it all off, where you
Yeah.
just don't want to fight
I would
anymore?
like to, because the few times that I did shave my head, it was so unbelievably liberating. Like
Yeah,
there
it
was a
feels
whole
good.
year of my life. You can Google pictures of me where no beard, just shaved head. But I didn't take it all the way down to the skull. I just took it down to like where he's at, which I like.
That's a 1.
I remember
Get a
this,
little bit
Nick.
of a tan,
But the
and you're just
shaved
there.
head with a beard, that's a good look.
I love it.
could work for you.
Kratos.
It definitely
just-
works.
Yeah, Kratos, that's right, absolutely.
it is.
So
Kratos.
I will. I look.
Kratos, is that how you pronounce
I
it?
want that
Kratos.
axe in your office. I'm like,
You can have it. It's mine.
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, you're gonna have but then you got to have a son just so you can say boy.
I do have one, but the
I
idea
do
of,
have one.
The idea of and Greg can attest,
Don't be
and so can
sorry,
you.
do better.
The idea of growing the beard out is great because then you don't have to worry about shaving. And
don't
then
be
if you
sorry,
can
be
just
better.
shave your head too, you're good to go.
Hey, hey, no,
You're good to go.
thank you, man. No.
Liberated. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. Two
I
less
think about
things to
doing
worry about.
frankly, every time my hair gets too shaggy and I need a haircut, it's easier for me to think, you know what, I'm just gonna shave it.
See,
But
I
then,
like the
but then I
haircuts, though.
remember how I look like a football hooligan, and
It's
people were
totally
afraid
fine
of
though.
me.
Why are you afraid to be intimidating?
I don't want to
people?
repel people.
No, you're not
I
gonna
mean,
repel
sometimes I
people.
do.
Well, see,
You're a lovely human being.
I got into that scary because when I was shaving it all the way down. Oh, sorry. Yeah. God damn it. I didn't have the beard, so I just like all the way down to skin. I used to bick it and everything like that, and it was people gave me a wide berth because like a lot of the offices I would work in, they're like, hey, you want to buy our cookies at a bake sale? And they walk by, they're like, we're cool, and they don't make eye contact. I'm like, I'm a nice person. Damn it. I want those cookies.
I read books and I want them
They look good. Give me the cookies.
It wouldn't make a huge difference to me anyway, because I think I give off without thinking. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, without even realizing I give off a kind of don't talk to me kind of vibe.
But you're very confident.
It's because I'm shy, and you wouldn't think this, but I'm quite shy and I'm quite socially insecure. So I tend to be, if I don't know you, I tend to be a bit like, ugh. And then people think that's because I'm rude. It's just
Sure.
because I'm really like, new people,
Yeah,
scary.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah, I understand that.
I don't love it. I'm kind of a weird introvert where like, when I'm at home, I wish I was out, and I have a lot of FOMO. But as soon as I go out, I can't
Wish
fucking
it was
wait to get home.
Yeah.
You got to push through that and just stay home.
You think?
So when I came to the,
Oh, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say.
No, just
I
stay
thought you were going to
home.
say push her and stay
There you
out.
go. You got sucks.
if I was with my wife, I would be all over the city like we used to. Like back in my younger days, I'd be all over the city. Like, oh, this is great. You're with my wife. But by myself, I'm like, I've seen shit.
Stay in the house.
Like
Stay in the
I've lived
hotel.
in Alaska. I lived in Korea. Have you done that? No. It's. I've seen shit. I'm cool. I backpacked across the UK for a while. It was fantastic.
No, you've been to the
You
UK.
bitten by any werewolves or anything?
Yes.
Stay off the moors.
Stay off the moors at night. Yeah.
Stay to the roads.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the post show for the Game Over Greggy show. Thank you so much for your support on patreon.com/kindafunny. The only way to see this, tell your friends it's worth it. Gary tells stories about Jason Statham and shows up and stuff. Gibby, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
my brother.
Nick, thank you.
Pleasure.
You left, you ate, you came back. That's what I
It's still in
appreciate.
front of me. Still smells.
Well, it's just what is it? Is this rice?
Cauliflower rice.
Oh.
Are you on a kind of regimen where you bring all your own food in? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It smells awful. Does anyone
I like
give
it,
him
actually.
shit about it?
I didn't think I was
bring
gonna like
fish
it, but
one time.
I'm eating like 4 meals a day with like.
What are you trying to hit a weight or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to get down to 175.
Okay.
So
what are you
I'm
at right now?
180.
Okay.
But
Right
I haven't been lifting a lot, so I think I've lost
Those
a
last few
ton of
pounds can be
muscles.
the toughest.
I've been here before. It's when I'm on the precipice again where I'm like, am I going to push through and finally achieve this goal, or is it Oreo cookie time?
Oreo cookie time.
And that's the problem.
I've got a great regimen for you to try.
Oh shit.
That's not
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you. All right, now
Do the
you guys
team
leave.
thing.
I'm going to point. Oh, we're trying flights too.
Oh wow.
I'm just getting them off.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's the point.
Don't forget, I got a point, Kev.
Don't worry.
Kevin, Greg, that's the point.
I got to do the like, subscribe, and share.
Go ahead, point.
Oh, right.
Well, Gibby's still here.
It's
what
fine.
am I doing?
Give me. I'm confused. I'm confused. Give me.
Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy show, everybody. Click here to subscribe to the channel. Not on Gibby. Click down here to go to our Patreon page. Click over here to, get a playlist of videos. And click down there for whatever cool Greg puts there, if he puts anything. Are any of these links working? Do we never check? Nobody knows.
Oh, he does it every week.
I just don't know. I mean, nobody ever checks. No one's ever given me any feedback. I'm not even sure if they're putting these videos into the video.
It's definitely going.
If you see this, tweet at me.
They won't do it. They won't. That's too much work. They're lazy kids.
No matter what
See
I
something.
All right, cut
say
it.
something.